You are watching the Vodka stream.
Hey, what's happening, guys? Welcome to the Vodka stream. What is happening? Good to see you. We made it through another week. A hot week. It's hot. It's sweltering. Humidity all over the place. What are we doing here? You know, California is not supposed to be humid, but it is. It's humid. It's humid. So good to see you guys. Welcome to the Vodka stream. We got plenty to talk about. We got Batman to talk about. The Batman and the DCU Batman. We got a new candidate, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. That's apparently been revealed when it comes to the DCU Batman. And then, of course, I'm going to give my full review of The Odyssey. Of course, maybe rant off a little bit about some of that stuff too. But yeah, and then we'll get the panel in here and we'll have some discussions. You know, we won't go on a full crazy discussion when it comes to The Odyssey because not everybody has seen it. And, you know, it's a story that's been out there for ever. I mean, it's not like we're going to like go down a spoiler route or something like that. Let's get a little mood music right there. All right. Cheers, guys. Let's have some fun to the weekend. We got I got the game on like right in the background, of course. It's Giants and Mariners, which if you guys know me, I'm a big Giants fan, but I'm also kind of a Mariners fan. So kind of cool this weekend. Get my little vodka spritzy. All right, who's out there? Talk to me. We got Monique right here. Happy fantastic Friday to you. She's got barbecue chicken thighs. Steamed jumbo artichokes and sour cream cucumber salad. God, always making us hungry. And the fact that you did the chicken thighs. Chicken thighs, by far the best meat. Get out of here with your chicken breasts. If I'm cooking chicken, I'm cooking chicken thighs. Yes, it's a little fattier. Yes, it's you know, more calories, but hey, who cares? Whip up some chicken thighs. So that sounds delicious with some artichokes and some of that sour cream cucumber salad. That sounds freaking amazing. Awesome. Cloned Avenger, what's happening? Which release first, the Batman Part 2, GTA 6, or a biblical Armageddon? I'm gonna guess the aliens will land. I think we're gonna get an alien that's gonna be speaking on the White House lawn because, you know, Trump, he's like, that's right, bringing you the first from somebody from another dimension or a planet, who knows, maybe both. And he's going to put them right there on the lawn and be like, yep, there you go, guys. I uncovered it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna guess that before all the others. What's going on, Devin? Hello, Dave. I have a question for you in chat. Do you have a favorite Sam Neill movie? And he made Brenda Fricker. You're talking about the pigeon lady. Yeah. And she's also the mom on So I Married an Axe Murderer. Let's not forget that. Yeah, may she rest in peace. Cheers to her. I saw that. Yeah, the pigeon lady. And like I said, if you guys know So I Married an Axe Murderer, if you haven't watched that movie, watch it. It's Mike Myers. It's a great movie. But yeah, may she rest in peace. But when it comes to Sam Neill, you know, obviously the first Jurassic Park. I would also say that Event Horizon is a good one as well. There was a movie called Possession that he was in. That is a fucked up movie that came out in the early 80s, late 70s. That's also really good. He was good in a lot of movies, but yeah, I would say those ones stick out for me. Jurassic Park, Possession, and Event Horizon. Our skeptic, what's happening? I saw The Odyssey in IMAX yesterday. Great visuals and score, but the dialogue was too modern and felt off-putting at times. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Gilmer, what's happening? Saw The Odyssey, loved it. There were some slow parts, but didn't ruin anything. Thought everything was great. Tom Holland was fine. Charlize and Zendaya felt like unnecessary star power given the roles. Yeah, I can see your point right there. What's going on, Ghoul? What's happening, bud? Odyssey was amazing. It's happening, Droga. Jason McKenzie, what's going on? All right. Thank you for the $40 super chat. Helping out the pirate ship. Appreciate you. Finally watched Backrooms. I applaud the artistic creativity, but it was a weird fucking movie. Yeah, it's a weird fucking movie. Like I said, it's not for everyone. Not for everyone. You know, and I get it. You probably were like, what did I just watch? But I like I said, I felt like during COVID time and stuff like that, I fell down the rabbit hole of Backrooms from Kane Parsons and from alternate people that were also like doing back rooms in luminous spaces and shit like that. But again, thank you, brother. Always great to see you out there in the chat. Let's see, Dave, I'm glad you like the Odyssey. That proves to me that those idiots say woke things. Yeah, and I'll talk about that more when I give my full review, because I might get a little ranty. That's right, he was also in Hunt for Red October. Yeah, great stuff. I love his dream of raising rabbits in Montana. Yeah, he had himself a little farm. I mean, he had TikToks, you know, his little posts were great, man. He just seemed like such a good guy. And like I said, he seemed like he cleared cancer, but I don't know. I guess it came back. I don't know. I don't think they've revealed what exactly took him out, which just sucks, man. Go to check out the Odyssey before it leaves theaters. Well, my life. Yeah, I know. Clone Avenger. I know you're dealing with stuff with your mom, which hopefully she pulls through. I'm pulling for her, man. It sucks. Max Wolf Danger. Hey, Dave, what up? I'm doing good. I know it's been a while. It's all good, dude. But I saw Odyssey 10 out of 10. I saw the news about the Batman Part 2 got delayed. It sucks, but can't wait to see Spider-Man Brand New Day. I know we're 2 weeks away from that guy right there. So, Alakazoo, what's happening? Nolan is overrated, but not on this one. The Odyssey is my favorite dark fantasy movie and my favorite Nolan. Look at that. See, I love that. Again, this is what it's all about, people. I'm not going to say you're wrong. There are people out there that will say you're wrong. If you like this movie, you're a paid shill. I've been called a paid shill for liking this movie on TikTok, on Twitter, on YouTube. Yeah, it's crazy. That fucking tribalistic, culty mentality that we live in right now, where you just have to, it's like, oh no, I can't believe they can't believe that people can like a movie that they don't like. It's so crazy. Monkey Jeebus, what's happening? I'm at work, but there's nothing to do, so I made a burger and watching YouTube. My manager isn't here, so I could do whatever I want. That's the way to do it, Monkey Jeebus. I love it. Appreciate you. Carlos, hola. Good vibes. Yeah. All about the good vibes. I can leave early in 2 hours. There you go, bud. I like that. Enjoy that burger. I'm sure, when you work at a place that you can make food, you always make the food better than like the normal food. You always add a little something. I've worked in restaurants before. You always come up with like, oh yeah, I worked at a fast food. I worked at KFC, my first job. So naturally you find ways to like, oh yeah, I'm going to put this sauce on this and try this out and everything. And then I worked at a Sizzler, and then I would have one of the chefs. He was really cool. Enrique, he was awesome. He had like a special dish, this steak rice dish that he made that wasn't on the menu. It's freaking awesome. So yeah, you always come up with like your own little recipes when you work in a restaurant. What's going on? Venom, go Dodgers. We're going for number 3. I know you are. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I know I'm hoping for a better second half when it comes to my Giants, but it's probably not going to. I mean, if they have any hope for playoffs, they have to go on a fucking run. So, but yeah, it's rough. But I know every team wants to make sure every team is making sure they're making the Dodgers not three-peat. That's for damn sure. What's going on, Fear Jason? Good to see you, buddy. Dark meat is more for forgiving and cooking, tastier and juicier, and the more lean a cut of meat that is. Oh yeah. Dark meat, I mean, yeah, you could just, I mean, I've thrown like boneless chicken thighs on a pan, you know, in some butter, and easy to cook, and it just, yeah, falls apart. It's good stuff. What is happening? Hey, Mr. Balga. Yeah, good evening to you. Balga, you're on vacation, right? You didn't hit me up, so I was like, I think you said that you were going to be out, but good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I don't think Balga's showing up for the panel this week, because I think you said something that you were going to be out of town. Seeing the Odyssey in 70 millimeter was amazing. Yeah, see, I didn't see it in 70 millimeter. Maybe I'm going to take Mama Film Junkie. She wants to see it. Hopefully the theater up the road has it. I haven't checked, but the theater I went to last night did not have that, sadly. Definitely top 5 Nolan experience for me. This is one you have to see in theaters. Yeah, you do have to see it in theaters for sure. People who say the Odyssey is woke clearly never paid attention to mythology at all. Yeah. It's just people just want to hate just to hate, you know, and it gets to the point. Like I said, the pendulum swings. Hey, happy 54 months there for your Jason. Good for you. Thank you for the support. I'm not going to complain about the Batman 2 release date, but it is funny that at the same time window Nolan did his entire trilogy. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Some people are pointing that out, that there's been like 3 Dune movies have also fit in that time frame too. It's kind of crazy to think about. Mr. Dell in the city, good to see you, man. Congratulations on, I know you've progressed in, you know, when it comes to your schooling and stuff like that. So cheers to you, sir. Great to hear that. Great to hear that. All right, so what else we got? Well, let's not start fighting yet there, Monkey Jeebus. Nerdster, what's happening? Who is the true supporting actor in The Odyssey? I would say Tom Holland, kind of. I would say that he's like the supporting. If he gets nominated to be for supporting actor, Damon would get Best Actor, Anne Hathaway would get Best Actress. Supporting actress, that would be a good question. I don't think Zendaya is in it enough. I don't think Charlize Theron is in it enough. Same as Lupita Nyong'o. I don't know if there is a Best Supporting Actress that you could put in there. Yeah, there's not really a supporting. I mean, they might just, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen with that? Again, I don't even know how they vote for this kind of stuff. But I don't think there's like a strong supporting. I would say the supporting actors is Holland or Pattinson. So, but yeah, when it comes to supporting actress, there's not, I wouldn't say there's strong cases. I don't think Charlize Theron and Zendaya were in it enough to validate. And that's the thing. But then again, who knows? Sizzler cheese toast. Oh yeah. The Sizzler cheese toast was great. So great. Matt Damon. That's right. You're in New York visiting wife's family this week. I'm definitely okay. There you go. Yeah, I had a feeling. I was like, yeah, wait. You did mention that you were going to be out of town. So, and like I said, Chris is always, you know, he always hits me up to let me know that he's down for a spot on the panel, which I appreciate. So have a good time, Chris. Appreciate you, of course. Let's see. Yeah, we got Alakazoo, 64 months. Can't wait for Mana tomorrow. There we go. Yeah. We got James Mack, 3 months. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, James. Awesome. We got Mr. Phil right here. Phil will be joining the panel later. Obviously, we got some Batman. We got a lot of Batman. We got some Batman to talk about. That's for damn sure. So, Marvel is holding back. Well, I'm hoping that Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be his best performance as Peter Parker. That's what I can hope for. And especially after seeing him in The Odyssey, I thought his performance was pretty great. So, is Zachary Levi on? I saw that. I don't think that's true. I think people are making up bullshit because of the Blue Beetle thing. I think that's a bullshit thing. I don't know if that's true. I saw somebody post that, but again, I didn't see a lot from that. When I don't see like DC Film News and some of the actual credible DCU accounts on Twitter not post about that, I'd wait for those accounts and I would let you guys know, because I know I've talked to those people. I trust those certain accounts. Only a handful, like 2 or 3 accounts that are covering DC to a point, and I'm just like, nah. I don't think we're gonna be getting any Zachary Levi Shazam in it. I nominate, John Leguizamo, Samantha Morton. I totally forgot Samantha Morton was the precog, what's her name, in freaking Minority Report. I knew, I was like looking at her, I was like, she looks familiar. Her scene, one of the best scenes in the movie. Her scene, and if you look up who she's playing, you look up who Samantha Morton's playing, you read the name and go, oh, fuck. Oh, yeah, that's right. And it was funny, too, because when they said her name, when her scene comes up, I went, oh, and my dad was like, well, what's her name? I was like, and I'm like, yeah, if you know that name, I won't say, because, I mean, even though we know that the story's been out there for a while, but I just don't want to get into big-time spoiler territory. But John Leguizamo was also great in the movie, too. What's going on, Mr. Indiana Jake? Good to see you, my friend. All right. Hopkins was in 8 minutes. Yeah, I know. See? So that might happen. But he was so memorable, though. That's the thing. I just don't think that Charlize Theron and Zendaya were memorable enough to warrant some kind of... I don't think they were memorable enough. I don't think they had that much of an impact. I mean, their characters were, of course, crucial to the Odyssey, but at the same time, I just don't think. But who knows? Let's see, Mr. Rivas. The Odyssey is amazing, bro. Are you gonna go watch it? John Leguizamo should win something. I watched it last night, and I'm gonna go watch it again too. So. Alan Richardson, he would be a good Shazam. You definitely would be. So, I know we got 30 days till Lanterns. Blue Beetle, you think he's leading? Yeah, I mean that's probably what they're trying to set up, right? I missed the pig scene in the Odyssey because I had to pee. Well, just watch it again because that scene was amazing. Amazing. But go ahead and keep on asking some questions, guys. I'll get to it. But I want to go on all this. Make sure you subscribe, do all the things. Let's talk about some things. But I want to give my full review. Let's give my full review of The Odyssey. Yes. Now, hopefully, you guys watched my first reaction review, and it's not much difference. There's not much difference. I mean, it wasn't a first reaction because I wasn't driving, and my brother went, my nephew went, so it was like a whole thing where it was like that. So I couldn't do my initial driving away from the theater. But once I got home, I recorded but it was kind of good. Like I said, I wanted to sit with it a little bit because, when it came to this movie, obviously there's a lot of controversy, there's a lot of this, a lot of that is surrounding this movie, which is just, of course it is, because why not? But again, Christopher Nolan just doesn't miss. He doesn't miss. The dude's just he's an engineer when it comes to filmmaking, but he has his flaws. He does. And the thing is, it's kind of funny because now that the movie is out, now that people are seeing it, and obviously nowadays you either have to hate the movie or not want to see it and say it's woke garbage, or you glaze it up like it's the best thing ever. It seems like, extremes on both sides. It's always like that. And it's like, so if you like the movie, someone's going to call you a paid shill. I don't know. It's always just some stupid bullshit. And I get so tired of that, where everything has to be so extreme on both sides. You can't be in the middle about everything. And that's what sucks. When you see this, you can't even trust. I mean, now there's people now that the movie is out, and then people are realizing like the big woke stuff, which is the casting choices for two characters. Now that it's been revealed that, hey, guess what, guys? Elliot Page wasn't playing Achilles. That's right. Oh shit, we fucked up on that. And I just kind of go like, yeah, are you guys gonna realize you fucked up on that? And you went on a whole crazy campaign when you just were like, it's like, hey, there's probably like bots from China that were fucking with you. Congratulations, you got fucked with, you got riled up, you got triggered, and then you went on a rampage, a campaign for months talking about this movie being woke and bullshit and this, that, and this. Congratulations, you got played. But are you going to cop to it? Of course you're not. You're just going to look the other way like, well, whatever, right? And then, of course, when it came to Lupita Nyong'o playing Helen of Troy, oh, she's in it for what, 9 minutes? Story's not revolved around her. She is there for sure. And now that it wasn't that pivotal to the story, like she has her moment with the story, but yeah, now it's like, oh, but the movie's still bad. I've seen that. I've seen the pivot to, just the movie's still bad. It's so funny because it's like it went from that to all the casting to just, well, the movie's just bad now. And I'm like, no, the movie's not bad. It's just the way it is. It's so stupid. But at the same time, someone like me who thinks Christopher Nolan is one of the best filmmakers out there, one of my favorite directors, I can actually sit here and actually give critique. I can actually balance myself. I can actually go into a movie and not be biased. It's crazy. Some people just can do that. It's weird. And I said in my first reaction, and I still hold to it, the first act is jarring. The first act, I got worried because, again, there's something with Christopher Nolan and his sound design where it's like, yeah, when the sound hits you right in the fucking gooch, it hits you. It uppercuts you right in the gooch in certain moments. When they're on the ship and there's a storm happening, you feel it. I was starting to get seasick. There is a scene where there's a storm happening, they're on the ship, and they're trying to go through it. I was starting to get uncomfortable because of how the sound was just hitting me and what I was seeing on the big screen. Crazy. But there's like the opening, when you see like a little party thing happening, I was going, the dialogue's getting drowned out by the background noise. Yeah. And some of the editing was a little jarring. And then it was doing the thing where it was going back and forth already. And I was going, oh shit, I got a little worried. But then as it kept going along, it started, oh, okay, we're good. I was like, okay, we're good. And yes, is the dialogue all that great? No. Some of the dialogue isn't that great. No. Especially in that first act. The first act was rough for me. I'm not going to lie. But then as it started creeping out of it and started getting into the heart of the story, it started really working for me. You know? So, yeah. But it's just kind of funny because it's like there's people out there that just can't even like critique or look at things quite like that. They can't look at it quite like that. You know, that was how I felt. You know, if you thought it was a 10 out of 10 or you thought it was like the best movie of the year, good. I am glad. I am glad that you really like that. So, you know, I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to say this or say that. I'm just kind of wondering if like the people who were like going off on Elliot Page playing Achilles, like, are you going to pull it back and be like, hey, sorry, I was wrong? I mean, are they going to do that? Probably not. I don't know. It's just like, it's just funny. It's like, come on. Yeah, of course you're not. Yeah, what? Just look the other way, right? Just look the other way. It's just frustrating. It's just the way things are now. And I'm just kind of wondering what's the next movie that the anti-wokesters are going to go after. They're not going to go after Spider-Man because they know that Spider-Man is that's $1 billion movie right there. They know Spider-Man. They try to go after Spider-Man because Zendaya playing MJ. They try to go after Spider-Man when it came to that. But they know that you're just fighting a losing battle when it comes to Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is off the table. I have not seen anybody try to go after Spider-Man. In fact, I've seen some of the anti-wokesters just being like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to Spider-Man. Because they know there's no fight. Because they have no fight against Spider-Man at all. So I'm wondering, what's the next one going to be that they're going to go after? What's the next movie that's going to be the next one to go after? You know, Supergirl bombed. They felt victorious when it came to that. Moana is bombing. You know, so I don't know what's going to be the next one. And I'm just like, just take a break. Take a break. Just let people enjoy movies. Okay, that's all. Can we just enjoy fucking movies? I don't know if they're going to go after Spider-Man Brand New Day, Del. I don't know. It seems like we're 2 weeks out and there hasn't really been anything. My problem is they're releasing too many goddamn clips and trailers. Could be Dune 3. I don't think they're going to go out for Dune 3 either because the past 2 Dune movies have been so good. I think Dune 3 is also. I think Avengers Doomsday is going to be. I think Doomsday they're going to go after. I think Doomsday they'll probably go after. But anyways, DCU Batman watch. That's what I keep on saying. We're on the watch for the DCU Batman. We have a new candidate, guys. We do, because, yeah, this guy kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know who this guy is. It's a fresh face, and that kind of makes you wonder, too. It's like, when you're going to cast a new Batman, do you want it to be a name, or do you want it to be a fresh face? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. It should just be who is best for the role, who has the best audition, who fits in the world that you're trying to establish. And the sad fact of the matter is, with Supergirl bombing, yes, that adds a little bit more pressure when it comes to things. Now, I'm not all doom and gloom that the DCU is going to. I mean, there are dumbasses out there, people I used to associate with, who think that DC Studios is going away. It's just sad. Sad. It might be somebody who actually designed my Vodka stream, now that I think about it. Logo. Yeah. This certain individual, he creeped up in my mentions. I creeped up into his, because he thinks that the DC Studios is just going to go away because of all of this. And I'm like, wow, you really lost the messaging, you dumb fucker. Because some of these guys they lost the messaging when it's like, hey, we wanted a DC Studios when Zach was there. There should have been a DC Studios already established. And now we finally got a DC Studios. Just because you hate James Gunn, that you obsessively tweet about every day, doesn't mean, okay, he can leave. He could leave, and that is a possibility. James Gunn could leave, but DC Studios is going to stay, and it should stay. It should be there. But it's like these guys associate James Gunn and DC Studios as one, and they can't disassociate it with, because they have a fucking derangement syndrome. And it's all just tribalistic, culty, weird, stupid shit. It's like, what are we doing here, guys? DC Studios is staying. James Gunn might not stay. How could you use your logical brain for once? My God. But anyways, that's just besides the point. It was just funny because I was interacting with somebody who I haven't interacted with in a bit. But yeah, this person might have designed something for me, and yeah, he just fell off the reservation. Where I was like, God damn, you hid your psycho fucking fandom for so long, and then it just. But like I said that so many times, I was like, the further we get away from the Snyder Cut being released, the crazier the crazies are going to get. And I've seen that a lot, where I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know you were like that. But you know, the scenes start fucking breaking. You know, it's like, good Lord. Anyways, all right, so the new Batman candidate. So now we got Mr. John Campea again. That's right, guys. We got Mr. John Camp. We got Mr. John. Okay, stop it. Jeez, I hate how this works. Okay. All right, so we got John Campea. I'm going to pull this up from TikTok, but right now it's like, okay, here we go. Here's who he's hearing about, Mr. John Campea.
Hearing right now, the guy I've heard mentioned a couple of times is an actor by the name of Mitchell Slaggert.
Who is that?
Now, for those of you who do not know, Mitchell Slaggert, and I'm sure that's probably many of us. But he most recently was the daughter's boyfriend, the football hero in Landman.
What?
I'm
the football hero in Landman. So there you go. That's the new candidate for the DCU Batman, Mitchell Slaggert. That is a hell of a last name right there, Slaggert. So Mitchell Slaggert, yeah, he's in Landman. I hear Landman's good. That's what I've heard. Mitchell Slaggert is 31 years old, 6'2", and yeah, that is. Let's see. Let's pull up his IMDb. Here's his IMDb right here. Not much. Like I said, recently Landman, not much when it comes to IMDb. Gossip Girl, the new one, 2021. I don't think anybody knows who this guy is. Okay? But there he is right there. He's a model also, by the way. If you look him up, yeah, he's done some modeling. So, of course, he's built. But apparently this guy is on the short list for the DCU Batman. And I'm just kind of like, okay, maybe. I don't know. Maybe, okay. I have to hear the voice. I haven't pulled up any video. Maybe I should hear the voice. Is there any video out there? Maybe we should pull out some video. But I don't know. That'd be a copyright thing because the Landman, I don't know if we're going to get that any of that. Probably not anything you can find on YouTube out there, but maybe some more video will come out. We'll talk about it more on Film Junkie Live when it comes to Monday. We'll probably have some more information. But how are we feeling about that, huh? I mean, he's a good-looking dude. He's got the jaw. You know, he's already built. Probably will, obviously, if he gets the role, he'll put on about 10, 12 more pounds of muscles. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm still on the Sklenar. I'm still on the Brandon Sklenar. I still think he, or even Tom Brittany. I'm good with Tom Brittany, with that deep voice that he has. Both of them have deep voices when it comes to them, but that's that's the recent one right now. So that's what everybody, who knows? I don't know. Who knows when it's going to get announced, but I think it's going to get announced sooner than later. Sooner than later, just like the Wonder Woman, DCU Wonder Woman, which I know people were actually talking about that there was somebody spotted on the set of Man of Tomorrow wearing a certain wig that they thought was Maxima, and it was Adria Arona. I don't know, but that hasn't been verified either. So there's just been so many things. But at the same time, when it comes to this guy right here, he does look, and I see some of you out there saying that he looks young, and I'm just kind of going like, okay, remember this is supposed to be a 10-year plus Batman, but I'm not saying that he can't be because he is 31. He's in his 30s, which David Cornsweat's 33, and he's supposed to have he's supposed to have a kid. He's supposed to have Damian. So is that still on the table? Again, who knows? I still hope it's on the table because that's going to bring something new to Batman. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't know that Batman in the comic books ended up having a kid that he made Robin. It's like who's a little shit. It's like that's how you distinct your Batman. But it's like, is that still on the table? I don't know. That's the thing. Who knows? But whatever. Yeah, Battinson's about to turn 40, but again, Battinson is a fucking vampire. Remember that. He is. So that's a good thing. 6 years between the two Batman movies. Luckily, the dude hasn't aged. Jesus Christ. He hasn't aged. He looks the same. So at least there's that. Anyways, all right. That's pretty much it. All right. What are you guys talking about? I'll go ahead and start. Let me start bringing some peeps in here. I'll start sending out the invitations. All right. Do that, and then a couple over here. Hold on. Sorry, just sending out some of the invitations. Go ahead. I'll get to some of your questions and whatever. What the hell is that? All right. All right. Let's go ahead and see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. Next week. Friday, Avatar. I never got into it. Never got into Avatar Last Airbender. Never got into it, sadly. And it just wasn't for me. It wasn't my thing. Dave, did you get the IMAX poster? No, I did not. I am, however, the theater up the road, they have the IMAX camera popcorn bucket. Oh, yeah, I'm getting that. I'm not sure when. I've been there twice since. I took my mom to go see Supergirl, and then I saw Toy Story this past weekend with some friends, and I'm like, oh, I got to get the IMAX camera popcorn bucket. They have it there. There's no movie that's coming out this upcoming weekend next week, so I might just go there just to buy the popcorn because I want to get that IMAX camera popcorn bucket. I mean, come on. So friggin' cool. Never heard of the guy rumored for Batman, but he got it. Yeah, he does got the jawline. Damn, surprised Tom Cruise didn't join in any Marvel. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. He really doesn't need to. Oh. Sorry, the game's on. What's up, Antonio? Good to see you. Batman rumor, he only 6'2", too small in height, but too small. Because what, Corn Sweat's like 6'5"? Dude, you put some boots on him and you got the fucking ears on the cowl, they're gonna look like the same height. Height is not an issue, okay? Not an issue. Remember, Michael Keaton was 5'8". Michael Keaton's 5'8". And he was Batman. Come on. Short kings, man. Short kings. Had to sit with it because my experience was because of the theater. It was hot, humid, and when it gets packed, it gets uncomfortable due to older seating. Oh, that sucks. Started 40 minutes late. That sucks, dude. That sucks. I hate that shit. Ugh. Yeah, but I hear the character is basically a stand-in for. I guess you could say that, but Elliot Page is in it for like 4 minutes. Come on, guys. I don't know the actual runtime. Yeah, it's like a standing because there's really not spoiler alert. I mean, I guess it's like they're not really. I mean, nobody's really knowing who Achilles is. I haven't seen Odyssey yet, but just checked again and it's sold out in IMAX 7mm until Wednesday. Yeah, see, movie's gonna do good. Movie's gonna do well. Those people are bots from India, Pakistan, and some. Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. Elliot Page is great, and his role was great. I had no problems with the role. It was small role, significant. Two different parts of the movie. Nothing. Even my nephew, who's kind of like, yeah, well, isn't this a little? I'm like, it's barely anything. And even he was like, it wasn't much. And I was like, yeah, see, there you go. You're good. Tenet was the best movie ever made. Tenet, Dunkirk, and Memento. Yeah, Memento, man. No matter what, Memento is always going to have a special place in my heart as my favorite Christopher Nolan movie, because that movie just inspired me. It inspired me to write. I wrote a script that I kind of took the backwards storytelling into play and the frontward storytelling. So I wrote a script. I got inspired. I wrote a script long time ago, and I should eventually I tried to turn it into a novel, but it got locked up in my old computer. But it's basically a story. It's a story about a kid and a detective, and one story is going backwards and one story is going forwards until it meets up. I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll freaking get back to that. But Dave, he's the best. Yeah, he kind of is. overlook a lot, but not that hard to make. Not that hard to make a movie. All right, Alan. Go. I mean, if you want to go ahead and just make a movie and make it look good, it's pretty hard to make a fucking movie. Really unfortunate. What's going on, Versus Seed? All the dog stars. That movie looks good. I'm actually looking forward to that. Pop's Film Junkie is also looking forward to that. So we're definitely going to be seeing that one. Every time you see the trailer, he looks at me and goes, that looks good. Really, Scott. They'll go after Spider-Man. Brandy New Day. Brandy New Day? Sounds like an alcohol. They should serve some brandy. But yeah, they might. I don't think they're going to go after it. Did anyone go after Sam, Jack, Nick Cage for Color Swap? What? Sam Jack? Oh, Sam Jacks. You're talking about. All right. No, I don't think they cared. Nobody cared because it made sense. Yo, there's Steph. Hi, Steph. How's it going? Good to see ya. Let's see. We got Digger. Yeah, Digger, climate change, rich people, presidents, media manipulation. I don't know if they'll go after Digger. Digger just, I don't know. That looked good. Looked good. Think they'll go after Clayface? I don't think they can go after Clayface. I don't think there's anything woke to go after when it comes to Clayface. I really don't see that. Climate change is a scam. People think we are all powerful and change the climate. Antonio Baker, I need to go out and to getting a job or having a girl finally go out on a date. What? And the climate change thing, it's like, I mean, I kind of get where you're coming from there, Nerdster, or not Nerdster, Monkey Jeebus. I think we have some impact, but not a lot. But, you know, it's like, hey, let's come up with some solutions besides just bickering at each other, right? Let's see. Climate change is an actual total scam. I mean, the one thing that I'll always say about it is like Al Gore. He's been trying to scare us with climate change for how long now? Remember, like when it came to his documentary that came out, I was still in high school, and they were like making it seem. They were making it seem like we were going to be underwater, like, you know, by 2010. Yeah, there definitely is a scammy portion of it, but there also is there's a little we have had an effect. Let's face it, we've had some, but I always go back to George Carlin when he did his little spiel in the 90s about like plastic bags and plastics and stuff like that, and he goes, yeah, the world's fine, the people are fucked. It's like, yeah, I mean, he had like a great line. He goes like, he's all, the world's fine, the earth is fine, the people are fucked. You know, it's like that. That's what he would always say. He's all, yeah, the world, yeah, it's been through meteors and ice ages and all this kind of stuff. You think that something like plastic bags is going to affect the earth? And he goes, no, we'll just be another mutation that just the world's just going to shake us off like a bad case of fleas, and then it's going to repair itself, and that's it. And it's like, yeah. You go back to the Matrix, like, you know, Mr. Smith. I mean, we're like a virus, right? We are a virus. You know, we kind of have similar things. We're the virus essentially. But yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like when you have the climate debate, it's like what are we affecting and what are we not? How do we fix it and how do we not? There's all kinds of things when it comes to all that stuff. It's like, yeah, we could do better. Definitely could do better. At the same time, you know, when you have like some of these elites that are saying like we're gonna be underwater in like 10 years, it's all crazy. It's all freaking. It's all weird. I don't know. Who knows? I don't trust Paramount one bit. Yeah, no, it's the Paramount things. Ooh, let's see. Just all random. Yeah. I don't think I believe that. Yeah, they're saying that Aquaman is going to be there. Is going to be in Mana tomorrow. I don't believe it. Campia is an insane maniac, and I hope you are well too. Probably everybody is passing on the project. DC ain't doing good. But, you know. Yeah, David, you're talking about David Cornsweat. Yeah, he's like 6'5", so he's tall. He's definitely tall. What we think about everything going on with, oh yeah, the God of War thing. That poor guy. What's his name? Tore his bicep. God, that sucks, dude. Yeah, I saw that as I was driving home, or we were driving home. What's his name that was playing Kratos in God of War? It's what's his name? Yeah, Ryan Hurst. He tore his bicep. And that takes a long time to repair. And then with that, you can't work out. And obviously, Kratos needs to be. So you're talking about probably about a 9 to 12 month recovery for that. And then you would have to you're talking about, yeah, so they are just going, yeah, we're going to recast. They have no choice but to recast. And it's like, that's fucking sucks, man. That sucks. Yeah, they're going to have to recast because they have the kid. You can't wait. I mean, they would have to wait probably about a year and a half at least for him to get back in shape after healing. Yeah. There's just no coming back from that. That's just unfortunate. I mean, Ben Affleck has a naturally high voice, and they solved that. Yeah, that's true. Bad since 40. Hey, there's Mama Film Junkie. Hi, Mom. Good to see you. Let me know when you want to go see The Odyssey. I'm ready to see it again. Let's see. What else we got? At this point, Andrew Garfield should play. You're funny. I remember watching Memento. Yeah. It's a great freaking movie, man. I love that movie. It's in my top, probably my top 5 of favorite movies. I might watch it again this weekend. And also Obsession is on Peacock. So if anybody hasn't watched Obsession, watch Obsession. I remember watching Christopher Nolan's movie, and I think he did Magic. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Prestige. Prestige is also, that's top tier. That is top tier. No, the one that looks good is the Brad Pitt one with the dog. Yeah, that's called The Heart of the Beast. Directed by one David Ayer. That one looks really good too. Indy Never Ready has been seen with Somber. What is that? I don't even know what that means. Just woke up from a dream. Oh, what's going on, Omni Swiper? Omega. The air is so bad. Oh yeah, because of the Canada fires. Yeah, I mean, let's face it. There's some things that are just like climate change is Texas this week. Yeah, we're all like, we're all. I know there's all like kind of like, because like I said, it's humid in California. It's not normally humid, so we're all suffering through a climate change right now. Oh, and the vacation. Yeah, stop spamming. Stop it with this. Stop the spamming with all that. It's all weird. Ryan Hurst. Yeah, poor guy. Batista. Batista's not big enough anymore. He's not. Batista ain't on the juice anymore. I don't think Batista wants to be playing that stuff anymore. So there's a new Nolan article. What's the Nolan article? What is the Nolan article? What is that about? Him educating people on how to make a movie? Because that guy knows how to make a movie. But like I said, I can critique. I don't have this big bias against, the big bias, this big fucking boner for, I mean, I do have a boner for Christopher Nolan, but at the same time, I could see where I'm like I said, the first like 20 minutes of the Odyssey, I went, I don't know about this. I'm worried. It was a little messy for me. But then all of a sudden when it started really getting into the story, I went, oh yeah, okay, here we go. And then it was fine. The rest of the way, it was fine. But I don't know, that first act, that first like 20, 25 minutes, I was kind of going, ooh. And I'm curious to see it again, too, to see if I feel that same way, But Joaquin, a lot of interesting biopics coming. I play Rocky. That looks really good. Tony that looks good, too. Yeah, Prime Time. Yeah, and then Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah, even David Cornsweet getting into the mix of that, He's got let's face it. Sometimes when you play Superman, sometimes people just kind of typecast you and keep you as like, oh yeah, you're just Superman, I know it was kind of rough for Cavill, but I think Cavill kind of broke out of that a little bit, but, and he's still breaking out of it a little bit. But yeah, it's just always been a thing. Like Christopher Reeve, it took him a bit, he was in other movies too, but people can't really name those movies. But yeah, you become Superman, and all of a sudden it's like hard to be like, yeah. But I think Cavill did a good job of getting other roles and still having like a good career where it's like Cavill, there he is. Yeah, sure. The last movie he was in did not do well at the box office. But at the same time, he's going to be in Highlander and he's going to be in Voltron. So he's still good. But I think good on Cornsweet to, hey, do a movie like this and apparently it tested well. I saw a thing where it tested well, and it tested well with females from the ages of like 30 to like 50 or something like that. And I'm like, well, yeah, if you saw the promo shots of him running without his shirt on, yes, of course it's going to test well. Anyways, which is kind of funny because in Superman, you don't see him without his shirt. I thought for sure that there would be something with that, but no, there wasn't. But then the next movie he's in, that's where you're going to see the Superman muscles. It's just kind of funny. Anyways. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start bringing some people on, start having some conversations and everything. First on, we'll bring
Phil. Hey, Phil.
Oops. I meant to hit that button. Anyways, what's happening, Phil? There he is.
Button pushed. What's up, man?
How's it going?
California in the heat.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah. Good times, right?
Just trying to mentally prepare for Comic-Con. That's for sure.
Yeah. How many? We got like what? 2 weeks? Less than 2 weeks?
I leave Tuesday.
Okay, so way less than 2 weeks.
Next week, dude. Yeah.
Jeez.
No, today my boss was like, "Hey, we know you're leaving Tuesday. Can you put in overtime on Monday?" I was like, "Sure."
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Right.
That's good though that your boss was like, "Hey, enjoy your time off, but could you, do this?" And you were like, "Yeah, gotcha."
Well, yeah, because I told you, I don't know if chat knows, but like I work a 980 schedule now.
Yeah.
So what that means is I work 9-hour days, 4 days or 5 days a week, depending on the weekend. This week was full 5 days, but every Friday that I do work is an 8-hour day, not a 9-hour day. So I work 9 hours Monday through Thursday and then 8 hours on Friday. And then the next week after that, 9 hours Monday through Thursday, Friday off.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Cool
So
gig.
you're leaving Tuesday. So when does everything start with Comic-Con?
So preview night is Wednesday night, and that starts at 6:30. They're going to allow not exhibitors. Exhibitors, I think, show up that night or the day of. But attendees, press, and some professionals will be allowed to like walk the floor, check things out, scope where everything is. William and I have been kind of chatting back and forth because we both ended up getting exclusive. We got into the exclusive portal and we were allowed possible credits to possibly get into certain things. Kind of like how, you know, how Disneyland has like those, like speed tickets or whatever the hell, where you can like kind of jump in front of the line, skip the line or whatever it is. Kind of like that, but it's like, it's just like everything else with Comic-Con, it's a fucking raffle. So
of course, yeah.
Good luck, right?
Yeah.
So, my main thing that I want to get are Funko Pops from the Funko, and I want Absolute Batman. Like they're only.
Oh yeah, the Absolute Batman one. That's gonna be like that. Everybody's gonna go after that one.
Exactly. And my plan is to like get there stupid early Thursday morning and stand in front of the G gate, because I looked at where the map is. I looked at the floor map, and Funko is like behind G, but towards the back end of the convention center. So I'm just gonna like hope that I get there early enough Thursday morning, stand in front of the G gate, and just fucking bolt it for the Funko. The Funko booth, so I can get that. I'm gonna also, if I get there early enough and I do get Absolute Batman, I am gonna get our buddy Ronan a Cyberpunk Funko, because I know he wants one of those, and our buddy Chris Balga wants a Radiant Black one. So I think, oh man, isn't who does Radiant Black? Kyle Higgins, right? Yeah, Kyle Higgins does the Radiant Black. He might be there, and if he's there, I'll probably get it signed for Chris. So
that'd be awesome. That would be really awesome. Well, that's cool. So yeah, because everything starts the week of Spider-Man Brand New Day, right? Fully.
Spider-Man's the week after.
So it is okay. So it is okay. So that's what I was like confused by, because I was like, oh shit, I should have looked up when Comic-Con is. All right, so it's the week after, and they might. I'm just wondering if they're gonna do one of those like, hey, who wants to go see Spider-Man Brand New Day? We're doing screening. They haven't said anything, but.
They haven't said anything about that, but they are doing a screening of Coyote vs. Acme.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that that's coming out, and the fact that it's like, yeah, it's coming out in what, August or October, September?
August 28th.
That's right. Yeah, I wonder if my dad would want to see that. I think he'd want to see that. Not though, like, because we never see the. I haven't seen any trailers in front of any movies that we've seen, and so I'll have to ask him. Like, you know, because, you know, it's always funny because I always know what my dad wants to see when we go to the movies. Mm-hmm. And then like a trailer plays and he'll look at me like, that looks good. And I'm like, okay. Like he wants to see the end of what is that? The Ewan McGregor, the J.J. Abrams.
Movie. End of Oak Street.
End of Oak Street. There it is. He definitely wants to see that. He wants to see Heart of the Beast, the Ayer Brad Pitt movie. You know, he like anytime like, and I always hope, I'm like, oh yeah, show this trailer. So I want to know if my dad will see it, so I don't have to send it to him. You know, it's like, because then I just know I'm like, all right, go see that one. We'll do that and everything. So, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But okay, cool. So I was like, all right, because I was confused. I was like, is the week of Spider-Man Brand New Day or is it prior? But yeah,
I think he's supposed to. I think Tom Holland and crew are gonna be there.
Yeah, I think they're doing Holland
a panel.
And Zendaya are definitely supposed to be there. They're just making the rounds. My God, I think Bernthal will probably be there too. I would.
Oh man, I'd love that.
Yeah, I mean, because they are just. When you have two movies within 2 weeks of each other and the three of you are in both movies, it's like, Jesus Christ. You know, you might as well just take advantage and just fucking go hard for a full month. They're going to need a fucking nice long vacation after this goddamn press tour, double press tour.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny too, because, you know, I mean, obviously I know you didn't see the Odyssey, but, you know, it's like obviously everybody has to promote. But it's just funny because like when you see like how much they're in the movie compared to how much they're going to be in this movie, and it's like, and I'm sure they, you know, and it's, you know, but obviously the Odyssey, you know, it's like, oh yeah, there's going to be certain people that are going to be, because this movie, and you know the story that's being told, you know, characters are playing,
right?
You know, Zendaya not in it all that much. She's in it when she needs to be. Bernthal even not in it all that much, but Holland in it throughout, obviously, because you know who's playing. So
right.
You know, but at the same time, you still want that star power, and the fact that they're probably looking at it as, well, you guys have a big movie where you guys are in it throughout. You guys are the main characters. which is going to be a movie that's going to do better than this movie.
Financially,
it's good. It's good marketing just for, oh yeah, they're in this movie too. It could help. It like,
yeah.
And I think Universal and Marvel Studios and Sony, they all looked at it like, hey, let's coordinate. We got to do a joint thing here. We got similar actors that people like. We got to do a thing where we got to have them market both. Zendaya's been doing a crazy thing too, where she's been, even like when she's been out promoting, she's wearing. I saw a thing with her today. Oh, I have to look it up. You're gonna. I don't know if you saw it, but she was wearing something. Yeah. Tell me. This was. I mean, I think this was for Spider-Man, but I was like, tell me she's not hinting at what the hell she's wearing right there.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Well, and obviously it says it right there. Yeah, she wore a Mr. Negative inspired fit. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I
mean, the fact that she was out there like, yeah, I'm just gonna wear this.
I almost saw it today. I came very close to getting a ticket for it today, but so what happened was me and my coworker were celebrating making permanent at our job because we both got the email the same day, and he ended up having to work overtime today, and I ended up leaving at our normal time, 1:30. And then I was going to see it at 3:40, but the thing that stopped me was the person that I've been seeing movies with. I asked her, I was like, hey, would you be all right seeing The Odyssey in a theater? It's a fucking 3-hour movie. She was like, I want to, but it's a fucking 3-hour movie. I was like, I know. And that's why I'm asking you. So she was like, thank you for asking. It's fine. It's whatever. We can just fucking wait. I was like, yeah, because I'm saving for Comic-Con. It's fine. It's whatever. Like, I came very close to seeing it at about 3:40 my time, but even then, like, I don't know if I want to deal with like a giant full theater of people while watching that movie that I want to like kind of hone in and focus on. I know it's a Nolan epic. I get it. Yeah. But like, also just the fact that Comic-Con is next week, I'm just like, there's a chance I'll probably see it with some of the guys.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to rush to see it. I mean, I totally get it. It's not one of those where you're like, gee, I got to find out what happens. I mean, the story's been out for, let's face it, this story has been out for quite a while.
Now, Spider-Man, on the other hand, that's a
whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. It's like with this, I think this is similar to Oppenheimer. Yeah, and I even mentioned this. I was like, I mentioned this on Film Junkie Live. Or maybe when I was did a video on just reading off the reviews when the embargo for Oppenheimer or for the Odyssey happened. I was like, I talked about the projections. I'm like, it's projecting to be worldwide over 200 million.
Wow.
And which is great. Yeah. But domestically they said like 90 to like 100 plus. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. But maybe some people would be like, really, it's going to be like, but like, yeah, but like Oppenheimer was less than that. And it still it had legs because it was one of those that you did not have to rush out to see because you knew, oh yeah, the story of Oppenheimer. It's like, yeah, he creates the atom bomb and we got the atom bomb. And it's like, you didn't have to rush out to see it. There's nothing that you needed to rush out to see it. So people and then of course, good word of mouth. And it's just one of those where it's like, yeah, nobody's spoiling anything because it's just like it's about a story that's been out there forever. But it's just like, but then it's like the word of mouth of like how the story is told. We're like, okay, I got to go see this. And I think that Odyssey, I'm not saying it's going to make $1 billion. Who knows? But I'm just saying like, it's just I think it's going to have that word of mouth where people go like, yeah, Jesus Christ. The sound, and there's like, because there's certain parts, like I said, Christopher Nolan, he gets a little wonky with his sound design because I think there's certain times where he needs to turn it down.
Yeah.
But when that sound design is hitting during certain scenes, like in this movie, Jesus Christ, do you feel it? Like I said, there's it's no spoilers or anything like that. Again, it's just, obviously they're on a boat and there's something that, they're going through a storm. I was feeling uncomfortable. Like I was feeling like I was on the ship because it was loud and just the imagery. And I was just like, fuck. I'm like, I'm starting to feel seasick right now. Almost,
Yeah, right.
because you're just feeling every bit of the scene. And that's when like the sound just hits you, and it's just god damn.
Goranson did the music for this, if I'm not mistaken. Yes,
dude. And that's why, like, if you watch the like my first reaction, I talk about the last 15 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. That score is just yeah. When with everything that's happening on screen, it is just it reminds me of Dunkirk in a way of like just the way that it just builds. Yeah.
You just had to mention my least favorite, if not my most disliked Nolan movie, because I don't like that movie at all.
But when it comes to like, if you remember how it kind of builds, which I would say like, but it just, I think you'll like this more than Dunkirk. Don't worry.
Oh, definitely. It's Greek myth. Like, I love Greek mythology. So yes, it is up my alley for sure.
For sure, but we're going to bring on some other peeps right now. We got Ronan right here. What is happening, sir?
Good to see you, muchachos. How y'all doing?
Good. Nice setup you got. Man, look at you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I like the background.
Yeah. Man, I can't wait for Phil to watch that movie. We got to talk about some stuff. I put it in the private chat, like, and Dave will know what I'm talking about. There's a scene with food. Man, I was just like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Scene that I did not think about, where I was like, whoa, okay. And it was like one of the, it's one of those where you go, Jesus Christ. How did Nolan pull that off where it wasn't
because he's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. It's a scene that shouldn't have been grounded, but he grounded it somehow. And it was like, in the way that it just comes, like, it's disturbing.
Yes.
And you just kind of go, I remember my dad was like, he went, whew, like that. He actually made that sound like, whew. And I was like, yeah, that was, that was fucking, I'm like, yeah, Nolan, you need to do a horror movie. We need to have a full on, because it is a horror type of scene. Obviously, there's, in the story of the Odyssey, you're going to have, there is those elements.
Yes.
And I think like with those elements of mythical creatures and whatever, he does it so well when it comes to the movie. And because it's like, a lot of people are going like, how does he do? And some people are already just going to be like, fuck it, he didn't do it right, fuck that, it should be full on this, that, whatever.
I smell envy.
Like, I don't care what these people are saying, they're dumb. But we also got Mr. William from Sci-Fi Center. What's happening?
I didn't see the movie, but I have a t-shirt as usual.
You got a t-shirt?
Yeah, and I have the kids.
Matt Damon or what?
Can you give me one? Can you give me a t-shirt when we meet up next week?
There you go.
What size are you?
Medium.
Bring
actually, no. I'm a large now. I'm actually my shoulders and thing. I'm getting bigger.
If you have an extra large, I'll take one.
I'm getting bigger, and so I might need a large.
Cool. I'm only bringing the one bag. I can roll those up, sure.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Actually, I'm gonna check the Comic Con portal right now.
That. Why don't you please check that portal.
Ronan, you have something. You got something, didn't you? Didn't you have a little?
You
got the bucket that I'm going to get. I think.
I wasn't expecting this. So I was a mess because I was like, wait, how much shit am I carrying? So they gave out posters, which is a rarity nowadays at AMC. So shout out to AMC for giving out these posters, which I haven't even opened yet. I don't even want to open it.
Yeah,
I gave all those away.
So ever since the Dune popcorn bucket, ever since the Deadpool Wolverine popcorn, I'm like, from afar, I respect it. I like it. But I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to spend that much money. And then IMAX and Nolan did this one.
Yeah,
and I was like, son of a bitch.
The theater down the road has it. I've been there twice, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get that shit. Yeah, that's.
You should have a little bit more self-control, Ronan. Crazy popcorn buckets, man.
Dude.
Bankrupt yourself.
And so here's the weird thing: they were selling two.
Don't look at that.
Nothing yet, William.
I know. They were selling this one, and they were selling the Trojan horse, which even that one I was like, oh, that's so cool. But
the Trojan horse is cool, but that one's even more expensive.
It's like $20 more, and I'm like,
yeah,
no, IMAX.
How much was the IMAX one?
This was like 50 something.
Oh, that's not. I thought it'd be even more than that.
Here's the thing: the first batch, I was gonna buy from the IMAX website, but then at the time, it was like, all right, I gotta make sure I have my flight and some other stuff for Comic-Con. I was like, I can't do it. And I shouldn't even have tried. Within like a minute or two, they were gone, absolutely gone. And I think IMAX, thank God, took the feedback and they're like, we can make a lot of money out of this. And they did a video with Nolan and Hoyma, like holding the IMAX popcorn bucket, and it was just like, please make more. And now AMC is selling them, or I think Regal Theater as well is selling them.
Oh, yeah, they're all over. I was surprised that the one up the road, it's a Cinemark type one, I think. And they had it, and I was like, "Oh God, I got to get that." But I've been there twice, and I'm like, "I'll get it on the way out," and then I forget. I'm like, "Shit!" So I'm probably just gonna drive up there this weekend and just freaking, it's only.
That's your subconscious saying, "No, don't do it." Is what it is.
Yeah, but it's such a cool. It's the coolest popcorn bucket. It's an IMAX camera. It's just so freaking cool. I mean, I love it.
I almost got Herbie. I stood there and I was rescued from getting Herbie last year.
But you got Galactus.
Yeah.
I like to think you could use that to when you're gonna do like a movie marathon at home or not. You like that will hold my Nolan movies for the time being, and then
that actually can hold some popcorn as opposed to the Lobo one. The Lobo one can hold about 2.5 bites, that's about it. But what can you do? And it's funny too, because the theater up the road still has the Lobo popcorn buckets and He-Man ones. And it's like, oh man.
Let me know if they have any Mortal Kombat ones. I want that green bucket that has the logo on it.
They might have had some. I don't know. I know, like when
that's one I want. That is for sure one I still want.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they have any more Mortal Kombat ones. That right now, the remaining things that they have the He-Man ones, and they have the Supergirl ones, and of course they have the Odyssey ones. But yeah,
dude, it was a vibe, man. Yesterday was a vibe because like I got there at 2:00 my showing, and everybody had the posters around their arms. So like, oh, we're all watching the Odyssey, and I got to my seat, dead middle in the auditorium, which is like, mwah. But I was like this for like 3 hours, and I said it. I don't know. I probably said in my short that I was like, an hour into the movie, I already had to pee, and I was like, fuck. Yeah. And I was like, for the last hour and a half, I was just dying. I was like, I'm not getting up. I am not missing this. And I was like, if I could do it through Infinity War,
I got up once.
Yeah,
I had to get up once.
I get it.
Yeah, I was like, and then when it came, like, it was after like a big scene, and I was like, okay, I think I got some time, and I just freaking, just ran to the freaking bathroom. I always look like a crazy person. Every time I have to go to the bathroom, I'm running to the bathroom, and every time I have to do that. But yeah, I only went once. I was like, thank God it was only once, because I had a nice tall beer, I was like. And even my dad, he got it. Yeah, I know. And then my dad had a tall beer, but he didn't want to drink it all because my brother was like, "No, I'm getting you a tall beer." My dad was like, "No, I'm gonna have to pee throughout this whole thing." And then it was fun. I was like, "Dad, just pour it in my freaking cup," And sure enough, he did. Like he was drinking it, and then he was like, and I'm like, "That's fine." So, but yeah. So luckily I was like, but that shows you too. I was like, oh yeah, I only went once, because there've been times where especially if I have tall beer, I'll go twice. But my bladder was like, no, you gotta watch, and I wanted to make sure, like, the final act, I am not moving. From like when it comes to down to the final act, and that final act was, yeah. Wait till you guys, when you guys see that, and like I said, Ludwig's score, man,
he might win back-to-back, I think, Oscars.
But at the same time, we got Hans Zimmer. We got Hans Zimmer with Dune.
That's true.
It's going to be we're gonna have Villeneuve and Nolan, and then we're gonna have Ludwig and Hans fighting for this Oscar. I think it's gonna be interesting to see who comes out on top when it comes to award season.
Doom.
Because Ludwig's score in this, there's a synthesizer aspect. And I was not expecting that. Like a synthesizer type of in that he had. I was like, oh, okay. He brought some of the synthesizer into this score. Interesting. But the percussion, oh, good God, man. It's just. And, I was talking about this before you came on, when you probably heard. I know you really like Dunkirk. You know how, like, there was that, like, kind of build up and kind of like that score. I forgot who did the Dunkirk score. Was that Zimmer? That was
Zimmer.
Was it Zimmer? But it was always like it was like trying to, like, there would be like a build up, like a there's a similar aspect when it comes to the Odyssey, especially when it comes to the final act. The way that things like start like coming about, it's like, I mean, I was sitting there just like, I was like going, oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, I know the story, but oh my God, it's like kind of thing where it's just, Jesus.
Dude, there was a moment where like people were just like looking to their sides,
Yeah.
and it would cut to different people looking at the sides, and I was going, what the fuck is gonna happen? And because I didn't read the book, I didn't know the story. Like for some odd reason, we missed it in high school or middle school, and I was like, "What the fuck?" But
yeah,
there was some stuff that and I was just like, "Wait, where are we going with this?" And yeah, I am. Kudos to Ludwig, man. Ludwig is on a vibe. He got struck by lightning, and he has been riding that lightning since. I'm not even gonna say Black Panther, since Creed. I'm like, this was
dude. I mean, he's the new guy, man. I mean, and what he's done. I mean, even when it came to the fucking Mandalorian score.
Oh,
I mean, that movie was just kind of for me. It was like, okay, I was okay with it. I enjoyed it, but I was like, that fucking score, like he added something to the fucking Mandalorian theme. I'm like,
there's a track in the Gladiator Arena that I'm like, I use it now for when I like go on runs and stuff. I'm just like, oh, that's the miss. And then I'm not even just that the movie, what he did with the show, like that broke new ground because for the longest time it was John Williams, and then on occasion we got someone like Michael Giacchino, and in the TV show stuff Kevin Kiner. But I was like, what is Louis gonna do for Mandalorian? And just that theme and what he did with that show,
Magnifico.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, he's just becoming that guy, and that's cool. I mean, I'm sure, like, I'm wondering if him and Hans have probably talked or probably stuff. And I'm sure Hans loves it. He's like, yeah, because Hans is, he's up there. It's like you got like the different generations. You got John Williams, who's 90, who's like was always the king, and then Hans Zimmer comes around. He's kind of like the new king, and then you got the Prince, who is Ludwig. It's like he's now just becoming that guy. And yeah, I mean, nothing against any of the other composers out there, but I mean, those are just the guys, when you see those three names, it's just like boom, boom, boom. You got the generations right there. It seems.
You know what? I'll say this. If Doomsday is a surprise, not in terms of quality, but like with the music, what Silvestri does with the music, I'm like, all right, you put us through Infinity War and Endgame. What are you going to do now with this one? And the only other I could think that might give these guys a run because of his body of work is Michael Giacchino, who is scoring Ray Gun, the Brad Ray.
Oh yeah, Giacchino is up there too. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like how that movie's gonna sound, and it's gonna be a good year for scores.
That's right. I forget that. Yeah, because Giacchino is also. Yeah, I was like trying to remember who else has kind of like been making the rounds. Giacchino is like one of the ones. Is it Giacchino or Giacchino? I don't know. Giacchino. Yeah. He's up there too. He did Fantastic Four, right? Also,
yes, he did
Fantastic Four. He did the Batman, of course. And
Incredibles.
So he's done the Incredibles, the Batman, Fantastic Four, the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
Yes,
as well as
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One. That's right.
He did Up, I think.
Yes,
did he do Up?
I think so.
He did Coco. He did the Star Trek J.J. Abrams movies.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Lost,
who did Project Hail Mary? I forgot who did Project Hail Mary. I'd have to look that up because I know there was I thought there was like
Daniel Pemberton.
Yep, okay. That's who it was.
And what else has he done?
He's done Spider-Verse movies.
So he did Spider-Verse. Yeah,
he did my favorite of his, Man from U.N.C.L.E.
So he did Man from U.N.C.L.E. Okay, so he's a. Yeah, I mean it's funny because you really only just know and Ludwig's becoming a name. Like Hans Zimmer and John Williams, but yeah, we mustn't forget the Giacchinos out there, and I mean, I don't know, it's gonna be interesting. And that Project Hail Mary is gonna get nominated for all kinds of shit too.
Oh, totally.
Next year, so it's just gonna be interesting because with Odyssey and Dune. I mean, it's going to be very interesting because
it's going to be competitive.
It's going to be very competitive. It's going to be.
Well, you got to remember who's doing the voting.
Yeah,
it's AMPAS, so you can probably much script who's going to win this.
Yeah, that's
once they've given one to somebody, it's very rare
I mean,
especially when it comes to
I don't know. You know, a lot of people swore up and down Timothy Chalamet had the Oscar for Best Actor for fucking Marty Supreme, and Michael B. Jordan
but they
took
knew
that shit.
they knew when they were going to give it to him though, because Dune Part 3 is probably going to be like with Lord of the Rings.
That's probably where he might get it. You think?
Maybe.
Yeah, they're going to look at Nolan because they do that stupid shit.
Wow.
They do stuff where they'll award somebody like Whoopi Goldberg won for Ghost, which is a fucking horrible performance on her end because they screwed her on Color Purple. Robin Williams, Good Will Hunting, yeah, okay. It's not a bad performance, but it's not even in the universe of one of his best performances. He had Awakenings and he had Fisher King, but he lost out to Hannibal Lecter. So what they did is 5 years later, there's
a whole thing. There's a whole background.
But, what's her face?
Yeah,
For the
I
reader.
suppose, but I
For
don't
the
know.
reader.
I'm with you. I'm with you on the Whoopi Goldberg one. I mean, as much as she was more of like, she was the comic relief. She was really good in Ghost, but at the same time, there wasn't any stretch. It was just Whoopi Goldberg doing Whoopi Goldberg. Same thing with Brad Pitt. And I even say, as much as I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I was kind of going like, did he deserve the Oscar? He was just
Cliff
Brad
Booth?
Pitt.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think
I don't know.
That movie, dude.
That's a I don't know.
I don't know.
I would say
there was like a stretch in his performance where he was doing anything to like. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that. I feel like
really.
I feel like Cliff Booth of the Brad Pitt
I
performance.
just think he was very likable and he was just awesome. I don't know.
Sure, but at the same time, I think what really did it for that one in particular. And you could argue he probably does it in a lot of his other roles, but that one in particular, there's just something that's very like, you know, niche and edge about Cliff Booth that a lot of his other roles don't necessarily have.
Yeah,
like
the movie ends
like that too, right? But also just like comparatively speaking, like look at Fight Club, right?
Oh.
Like,
but I mean,
fucking,
12 Monkeys. That was
right.
Yeah,
his role in 12 Monkeys.
All the Rain, like you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and
Kate
Benjamin Button.
Bullet Train.
Yeah.
Kate Winslet's another one. She won for The Reader. Not a bad movie at all.
Yeah.
But they did that because Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, they fucked up that Oscar so bad that Jim Carrey didn't get nominated.
That one should have been nominated.
Yeah.
Like
Jim Carrey didn't even get nominated for that one for other reasons.
He should have. And see, that's what I like is when like, you know, Jim Carrey, known for this, shows you a dramatic role. I mean, obviously he had dramatic roles like Truman Show and some other ones too before that. But there was something about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind that kind of captured just, and even Jim Carrey said that he was in a dark place when he made that movie, which helped his performance. Like I think in an interview I remember reading where he said like, oh yeah, he was in a dark place. I think he was just going through like some shit, and it helped. It actually, like, he didn't know if he was going to want to do it, but he did it, and he said it helped his performance because he was in a dark place. And I'm like, yeah, it shows, because that movie is just, there's a lot of sadness in that movie.
Yeah. But the Oscars, they look at him. They don't take. I don't think the Oscars take him seriously as a serious actor.
And
that's not fair. I'm not saying that that's fair, but that's why I say I wish he had diversified his portfolio a little bit more. But at the same time, they never. I just think they look at him and they see head out of a rhinoceros's ass, and that's all they see.
And that's what I wonder when it comes to Digger and Tom Cruise, because a lot of people are like, "Holy shit!" And people are going, "Tom Cruise going for that Oscar," and it's like, are they going to look at? Are they going to, will he get nominated? Maybe, but they might just be like, "Nah, it's Tom Cruise. You don't need that."
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, what else? I mean, he's probably going to, I would not be surprised. I mean, he's definitely probably going to get nominated for Best Actor. I think Tom Cruise is going to get nominated. Matt Damon will get nominated.
Yeah.
For Best Actor, for sure. I think, obviously, Timothy Chalamet may for Dune.
Ryan Gosling for Project.
Yeah, he
Ryan
probably
Gosling
will get nominated.
Definitely should be.
He'll get nominated for Project Hail Mary. It's gonna be. I mean, we're already kind of seeing all that stuff. Like people were mentioning like who was like a supporting, like when it comes to the Odyssey. I mean, I know only Ronan's seen it. It's like who would be supporting? I'm like, well, Tom Holland was supporting actor for sure. He probably will get nominated.
Him and Robert Pattinson, I think.
Yeah,
one of
Robert
them.
Pattinson. But then there was like, I was like, who's supporting actress? Because I think Anne Hathaway will get nominated for
yeah.
actress, for best actress, because she's throughout. She's not supporting. She's the best. She'll be best actress.
Yes.
Well, she was probably the lead actress in that.
Yes. Yeah.
But
I'm like, there's really no supporting, because I'm like, Zendaya not in it as much as I would.
Samantha Morton, I heard, has like a really big standout moment.
I think that's
the scene. That's the scene that we were kind of talking about.
Scene. Yeah.
But I mean, it's only one scene.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
that would be dope.
But I mean,
sometimes that's all it takes. You know.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it is, because somebody brought it up too. It was like, yeah, you know, Anthony Hopkins got nominated. He was only in for
17 minutes.
I mean, and
17.
Bringing it back to Brad Pitt, you know, when his character fought the, you know, Bruce Lee, like when Cliff Booth fought that Bruce Lee, that fight in fucking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's pretty stellar.
Yeah, it's
IMO.
It's great.
Great sequence, well shot, well acted, well executed. Just a really solid fucking display of acting on all fronts. Just
him and Mike
masterclass.
Mike Mo as well. Like, again, I don't agree with the result of that. And like, I love Uncle Quentin, but like, I'm like, I don't think even Bruce Lee would be like, I'm not gonna go down that easily.
No.
Like, I think like that was like even Mike Mo, which I remember like the teaser, he was the star of the teaser. It was like, how the hell did he get his cadence right?
Yeah.
Of like my hands are registered as lethal weapons, and just like,
yeah.
And so like, yeah, but I think with Odyssey, when I think about supporting actress, even everyone who's in it, they do rotate their time. But to me, it was Samantha Morton, the lady in the food scene, that like had the most impact on me. To me, the MVPs of the movie.
Dude, I totally forgot that she was the one in she was the main precog in fucking Minority Report. I knew she looked familiar.
What?
Yeah, her. I forgot her name.
What the hell?
Yeah, she's the main precog in fucking Minority Report.
Until
I saw the interview where she was talking about going on in the set, you know, for the scene of for the Odyssey and the scope of it. She's like, oh yeah, when I walked on Minority Report and there was, you know, Steven Spielberg and Tom Cruise, I was like, yeah, that was crazy, but it was, for some reason, it was crazier just to walk on to this set. And I was like, holy shit, she was fucking, what's her name? I can't remember her name, the main precog in Minority Report. I was like, oh, that's her. I was like, holy crap. I knew she looked familiar. I was like, I know that face. Because I love Minority Report. It's fucking, I love that movie so much, but I had no idea. That's
Philip
her.
K. Dick classic.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's based on a book of his? That's dope.
Yeah, that guy. But no, and then we mustn't forget, when it comes to the Academy Awards, Michael is probably going to get some nominations. Jafar will probably get Best Actor. I wouldn't be surprised if what's his name gets, who plays Joe. I forgot his
Domingo?
Huh?
Coleman Domingo?
Yeah, he'll probably get nominated for Best Supporting for sure, because I thought he was great. So that'll probably, so we have that too. Yeah, but it's so funny because we're already talking about who's going to get nominated, and we're not even in Oscar season. We're not even in award season yet. There's still movies coming out. I mean, the I Play Rocky movie trailer, man, that just came out.
That coming out this year?
Yeah,
so.
Yeah,
coming out in October, September, or November. I don't know.
That tracks.
Coming out this year, but I mean, people are already raving about that. I'm like, this might be an awards attender, because like I was kind of wondering how this dude was going to be. What's great about that trailer is it's meta, because, and I think this is what's so like how that trailer was so beautifully crafted, was because it's like you're watching Rocky, but you're not watching Rocky, because you're seeing similar scenes from Rocky, but you're watching. This is about a movie about trying to make Rocky. Yeah. So it's meta in a way where it's like, because it's about somebody who's trying to make something of himself, just like how Rocky was. Mm-hmm. And they're showing you Rocky, you know, him running, punching the fucking meat and running up the steps, but they're filming a movie, a movie Rocky, and it's Sylvester Stallone trying to make the movie. It's just, and I was like, wow. I watched it again. I'm like, holy shit, because I was like wondering. I was like, his voice at first sounded a little too like, oh man, maybe he's leaning too much into the.
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah.
But then I was like, no,
Adrian!
I think he's doing pretty good. I think he's.
Yeah.
I think it's actually. So he actually might be a contender as well, because it's looking like and I saw so many people raving about that. And I'm like, all right, I think we got another biopic that's going to be. It's going to be a hit for sure. But I wanted to bring up some super chats right now. We got Vincent Moore right here in my theater. Was hyped the whole movie. I have to watch Odyssey a few more times in different formats. Dune is going to be epic too. Yeah. I didn't see it in sadly the full 70 millimeter. I'm hoping to see that the next time, but
trying to catch it for that. Yeah. I think we're gonna try after the World Cup to
yeah. Maybe I'll I'm gonna take my mom to it. She wants to see it. Mr. Vendetta right here. The last photograph is being scored by Hans Zimmer. Yeah, true. We mustn't forget the little tiny movie that Zack Snyder made. That just shows you right there that, hey guys, Zack Snyder's kind of a good dude, kind of a cool dude, where his little tiny movie that he had no distribution, and I guess it's going to be probably A24 because he kind of hinted at that. It's not official yet, but the fact that it's like, oh yeah, his little tiny movie, he just probably hit up Hans Zimmer like, hey, want to do? Yeah, and they're like, yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome.
And that's awesome on Hans Zimmer, where he's like, no, he's not too big for his britches, where it's like, he probably had such a good experience working with Zach that he's like, hey, when Zach hit him up, it's like, hey, we don't have that much money and whatever, but hey, what'd you think about? And he went, you know what? Yeah. Because Hans Zimmer probably, he's at the point where it's like, I don't need a fucking, yeah, sure, nice. He probably got a nice little paycheck for Dune and everything like that. But he's like, fuck, and when he probably saw some footage, Zach probably sent him some footage, and Hans Zimmer was probably like, holy shit. Oh no, I know exactly I'm already hearing it. And they probably, and that just, to me, that just shows you that Hans Zimmer is awesome, where he's like, there's no movie too small that he would be like, and because, Last Photograph, even though Zack Snyder is a name, but at the same time, this is a movie where it's like, this is something Zach's never done. It doesn't have distribution. He kind of just this is a passion project that he did himself, probably funded a lot of the money. And Hans Zimmer was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll score your movie. And that's just fucking awesome. It's just when you think about it. And, so very, very interested to hear what, that's just going to add to it. And yeah, I'm glad. Thank you, Mr. Vendetta, for bringing that up. I forgot that Hans Zimmer was also going to be scoring Zach's movie. It just shows you right there. Good. I mean, when you build up relationships in this business like that, where you can have someone like Hans Zimmer just go like, yeah, I'll score your movie. Your small movie. Zach's done these big movies, big sci-fi movies, huge movies. He does a small little passion project, and someone like Hans Zimmer goes, yeah, I got you.
Kudos to Zach getting him when he probably did, because between Dune and God knows what else he's been working on, it's just like,
got him just and probably just, hey, think about it. And he probably saw some footage and said, oh yeah, I'm already hearing the music. That's freaking cool, man.
Yeah,
so good. Ronan, are you going to Comic-Con too?
As a matter of fact, yes, I will be going to Comic-Con.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So you guys are about to blow up a whole bunch of plans with that pause there, man.
No. I was messing with you. No, yeah. I'm going to Comic-Con. Obviously Phil, William I'm already 5 days away, and I'm already trying to map out, okay, what would be the right time to line up for Hall H for this day, and I got to do this and this and this. It's gonna be bonkers, y'all. It's gonna be bonkers. And
it's gonna be some sleepless shit right there, because I know some of the people for Friday are lining up, because I knew a group that I got out of because the guy was an asshole. They're lining up like at 4 on Friday and on Saturday. So when the line opens up, they're there. So there's going to be some crazy people we have to deal with. To be honest with you, I don't mind doing the ugly shifts.
Yeah.
Because I'll work with you guys on that one. I got a lot of interviews. I'm not going to sleep. I mean, not in 2024. I didn't sleep because my bed almost killed me. This time I'm not going to sleep because there's just a lot to get done, and even though I'm going to be there for 5 days, the shit blows by like that.
Yes.
So
by Saturday or Sunday, you're already going like, all right, we got used to it, and like it's already done. It's already gone.
It's over.
Like, the weekend's over.
Back on the plane.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to come back to Vegas. It's going to be 114 degrees when I leave here.
Yeah.
Every year it gets harder and harder to come back here because I'm like, God damn it, I could just be homeless out on the beach.
I was thinking of maybe getting there earlier in the week, but I was just like, no, like I think because if nothing big was happening now, like in terms of like a show or movie coming out, I would have been there earlier. But because Extra 97 is coming out on a weekly basis, because I got to prep for Cape Crusader, and then there's 2 new enemies I'm watching. I'm like, I just can't waste that time.
When are you getting there? What day are you getting there?
Wednesday morning.
Okay, so I'll be there Wednesday afternoon. So
yeah,
but because I'll be there for previews night and all other madness. But I know I want to see Blade, but they have the lanterns. They have the Lanterns Hall H on Friday.
Yeah,
and then the Blade Runner 2099 10 a.m. that morning.
That's right.
So
Blade Runner 2099. That's going to be a thing. We're finally going to get some footage out of that.
Finally.
Yeah. So I'm gonna cover that.
Michelle Yeoh is in that shit, right?
Michelle
Yeoh, Hunter Schafer.
She gonna be there? Maybe.
I think so. I think I've been hearing some rumblings that like, they're gonna be there.
Yeah. That Lanterns Hall or that Lanterns HQ thing was a fucking scam, dude.
Oh man.
I heard it sold out. They were like,
well, no, because you had the bots. They let the bots go in there, and within seconds, the bots had claimed all the spots. Some people legitimately got some, but then all of a sudden, an hour later, I'm seeing clowns selling them, trading them. I'm like, it was free, dude. Now you're selling them for a couple $100. I'm like, yeah. So I learned my lesson last year about that. So
on Wednesday or Thursday, I'm gonna see if we can go to the location and do like, yeah, we're pressed. Can we get a spot in? Like, we don't need, just hell, if it was on Wednesday, I'd be like, yo, just get us in, and for like that way we can get that out of the way and to have the experience and cover it.
Emailed HBO or the contacts we have that we are screenings to see if they could do something, and they're working on it for a few slots. I'll keep you posted on that. As soon as I saw that happen, I'm like, okay, this was exactly what happened last year because the alien Romulus thing that they had last year, and then the Predator Badlands. What they did, and they should have got their asses kicked for this, they didn't let anybody know that the line had cut off. All those people were standing out there in relatively hot. I mean, it's only 80 degrees, but you're out there standing. And then this idiot in the little whatever volunteer things, he's standing there. And I'm like, why the fuck is he standing there so long? And I walked up to him, I'm like, is there any reason why you're standing there? Oh, the line's cut off. And I'm like, when were you going to tell? There's a long line lined up all the way across to the convention center to get into that. Were you going to tell those people? Oh, yeah, maybe I should, huh? Yeah, because they're going to probably want to kick your ass. I just left. And that's the same thing with the Predator one was nice.
The Penguin one, and that one caught
on
fire.
That side, yeah. So, these activations, I made it a goal. I'm not going to spend too much. If it looks like it's a lost cause, I'm just going to go into another lost cause. So
yeah, that's why even for the Predator Badlands one, I wanted to do that one so badly. But I was like, no, let me just go to the panel. And thank God I went to the panel because that's when we saw the Killer of Killers end credit scene for the first time.
I was there with the cartoon. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
And we got the same footage.
You got a mask.
Yeah, that was awesome. But
yeah, I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do in Hall H on Friday for Lanterns. Are they going to show much of the show? Where they're going to show off? Are they going to do like? I think it's only an hour long.
They're going to be there. They got the cast.
You got Aaron Pierre and Kyle Chandler are going to be there, so they'll probably show another trailer. They'll probably release another trailer.
They might show an episode. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, they might show an episode.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
they've done that. Alien Earth was like that. I was like, holy shit, we're gonna watch an episode of Alien.
Well, in Badlands, you got the first 20 minutes of Badlands.
Yes.
So
I mean, if they're smart, I mean, obviously we were talking about last week how they're missing an opportunity to have Man of Tomorrow there. So I mean, Jesus Christ.
No one else to blame except James Gunn for that. Anyway.
Well, I mean,
I'm getting Blue Beetle.
It might not just be James Gunn. It could be Warner Brothers as well too.
No, I just like watching Ronan fucking squirm.
I just wait for it now. I'm like, oh, here we go.
What else are we getting?
What else? I think I'm shocked, but I'm also happy for them. Insomniac's Wolverine is getting a panel on Thursday morning, and that is awesome because
Where is that Hall H or is that one of the ballrooms?
Hall
That's Hall H.
Okay, that's actually
they
pretty good.
showed the newest like Ain't No Hero TV spot 13 thing. They showed it in front of Odyssey. That was the most metal thing I had seen. I'm like, you're promoting a video game in front of the Odyssey. That was
No
fucking
shit.
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. To me,
gonna be
to me
wild.
it's Marvel, Lanterns, Blade Runner 2099, and I have to take my email, but
We got the same priorities, so we're going to be out there. And this is why I went and I had a nice room set up, right? Because I'm like, this year I want a single room because I want to broadcast. So I had it set, I had it reserved, and then this little thing popped up, and one of them is right on 3rd Street. And I clicked on the map. You know how you use the little thing you can see the outside? So I clicked on the little hostel thing, and then I did a 360, and the convention center is right there. It's 2-minute walk. Like 2 to 5 minute walk from the casino. I'm like, I'm going to just do that. And then I figure I'm not going to be sleeping anyway, so fuck it. Yeah. So I'm literally within walking, for the first time, I'm within walking distance of this convention, and right in the Gaslamp district, which is the best one to be.
Which is right where everything happens. Everything happens around there. Yeah.
It'll be fun. And there's plenty of places to broadcast. Oh, they have a lobby. They have a lobby to where you can people will be broadcasting without bothering anybody, which I think is going to be cool. So I'm going to be doing all-nighters. I think if I end up doing an all-nighter, I'm gonna do a marathon. Just do a marathon, find some shitty movies.
Jesus Christ.
You get views, yeah.
I don't sleep anyway, so it's not like I don't sleep here. So
what is your sleep? How many hours of sleep do you normally get?
Average 4.5.
4.5.
Average 4.5.
Jeez.
This is, and I got used to that from deployment. Once I got back from deployment, it's hard. If I go any longer, I wake up anyway, and I can't go to bed before a certain amount of time, or I'll just lay there, and the squirrels that run my brain will just keep going in circles. So, and there's nothing I can do. So I have to go to bed at a certain time. It doesn't matter because I'm not falling asleep, unless I medicate myself, and I don't like doing that. So yeah, it's around 4.5. 4.5. So yeah, so yeah, when we get this, and then this is just a regular work week. This I'm going to be in I don't know if we're going to call this a vacation, but it's going to be the way away from hell. So it'll be somewhat fun, dude. It was 100 degrees.
Yeah,
this guy said, "Hey, away from hell."
Dude, it's
fucking hot, man, and humid.
It's hot, but I mean, it's going to be humid in freaking San Diego. Dude.
Okay. 40-degree difference in heat, though. There's a difference.
And also, we're lucky that the convention is like near the ocean and or a portion of the ocean. So like, even for us, staying at hotels or motels or whatever, I didn't have to use the AC. Just open the window and the wind kicks in, and I'm like, oh, that puts me to bed. Like,
there's a fan. I mean, there's fans. I don't know anybody. I don't think I walked in anywhere other than the convention center that had AC on. Where like here, you don't have it on here, you'll die. You'll literally die. If you don't have it. So yeah. Hot. If they break down this time of year, you may as well give up an organ. Okay, my air conditioners broke down. Well, do you have a kidney? Because this is going to cost you. And I got 2 of them that broke down within 1 week. 1 week.
That sucks.
So, yeah.
Are you going to be covering Dave?
What's that?
Are you gonna be doing like a live stream during Comic-Con?
Yeah, I'll probably be doing I'll be covering it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll be making sure anything that big comes out, I'll definitely be doing that because you said the Hall H Lanterns that's on Friday, right?
Friday.
Yeah. Friday at 1 p.m.
Yeah, so obviously that'll be a Vodka stream talking point, and if you guys are even available, obviously you guys can hop on too. But yeah, I'll be covering a bunch of that stuff. Obviously, I don't know. It's obviously it's going to be Marvel Studios is going to with Doomsday and everything. I mean, I think we're going to get that first official teaser for Doomsday next week because pre-sales go out
3 days.
It's
That's
in
the
3
rumor.
days.
Yeah, on the 20th. Yeah,
I'm actually
20th.
kind of surprised they held off on that trailer for so long. I thought they'd show it in front of Toy Story, but hey.
But they're like, well, put it in front of fucking Spider-Man. So it's like, yeah, that makes sense too. But I thought they would have put it in front of Toy Story as well. But by the way, I did see Toy Story, and you know what?
Not bad.
Not bad. I actually enjoyed it. Saw it last Sunday. My friend wanted to take her daughter, who's 4, to her first movie. Oh, we lost William. and then my other friend showed up with her son. It was like his second movie. It was also 4. Both kids did great. The theater wasn't packed. You know, there was
That's
there was like another kid that was like kind of making a little noise behind, but it wasn't too bad. But both kids were fine. You know, my friend's daughter was like, you know, a couple times she was like, I want to go home. I want to go. But then, you know, things started happening in the movie and she got invested into it, especially with the final act, you know, where everything's happening. She was invested and then she was cool. So it worked out. So yeah,
Good.
but overall, like, yeah, better than 4, you know, definitely better than like 4 was just kind of like one of those anomalies where it's like, oh yeah, let's do another one and let's kind of do this. And they don't, yeah, I don't know if you've seen 4, like Toy Story 4, but
Been a
they
while.
don't, yeah, I only saw it once. They keep it going. There's characters from 4, like Keanu Reeves, you know, characters in there, which is good. I was like, cool that he came back. You know, they're still keeping the story, but and it was just kind of, but what's interesting about Toy Story 5 is Woody is pretty much he's a supporting character. He's not a main. You know, it's mainly Jessie. You know, obviously, she's like the main character. Buzz is also a main character, and Woody's kind of a supporting character. You know, he kind of just shows up, and he's more of a supporting character. So, but it worked out. I think it needed to be like that, to be honest, for what was the story for sure. But hey, who's joining? We got Paul joining.
Hey guys,
Spencer,
what's up?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
Yeah.
What's going on?
We're just talking. Did you see The Odyssey?
Yes, and I also saw Toy Story 5 as well.
So, yeah. I was just talking about Toy Story 5, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice little entry. It doesn't, you know, it's not as good as the first 3, of course, but I thought it was a nice little entry.
The way I look at it is like the first 3 are pretty much perfect. Like you didn't really need to go on past that. I would have preferred even 3 I have some issues with. Like I still kind of would have preferred like his toy. Andy had given his toys to his children, you know, or something of that nature. But maybe they didn't want to like, you know, do like a fast forward into the future kind of thing, which I get. But like honestly, I like 4 because at the time when it came out, I've seen it I think only twice in the whole time that it's been out. But for me, I was okay with it happening because when they said that the movie was going to be about Woody and Bo Peep, I was like, that's cool because that's one of the only things that was never really answered. Like, you know, as far as like the main characters were concerned, and it becomes like everyone always thinks it's like Buzz and Woody, but like the supporting cast is always really instrumental to those movies. And Bo Peep, we never got any answers on that. So I liked that. I liked 4 because it gave us resolution on that. And I thought they did like a really interesting thing by separating Buzz and Woody by the end and showing that Woody had to go on and do his own thing. And it really kind of like messed me up. Like I didn't think it would hit me as hard as it did. Well, it's because I mean, when I was a kid, I was basically Andy. You know, I was 7 when the first one came out, so I've grown up with those movies pretty much how Andy does. So like so it hit me on that level. But then the 5th one, you know, Woody's just back, and I guess from what I've heard since the movie's come out, because a lot of trivia starts to come out more and more about the process of making it. I guess there was a period of time where they tried to just do it as Bonnie's Toys with Buzz and Jessie. And they didn't like it. It didn't work for them. Like,
well, that's what I was just saying. Like, because Woody is a supporting character in this movie. He's not central. It's a Jesse movie, and Buzz is kind of like the co-star, and then you got Woody that just shows up as like, oh yeah, here I am, and he's more of a supporting character. Like it's not really Woody centric at all.
Well, that's fine though, and that's okay. If you're not, if you're gonna keep continuing on the story from the 3 basically perfect movies that you've already made, this is fine as far as the franchise is concerned, because Woody has had his arc like pretty much all the way from 1 to 4. Like he's gone completely. He's a completely different character by the end of 4 than he was at the beginning of 1. And Buzz, I think, could do a little bit more with in terms of like I felt like they kind of dumped him down a little bit as the movies kind of progressed to a degree,
I can
or
see
they
that,
didn't know what
yeah.
they don't know what to do with him sometimes. Even the third one, they have to like factory reset him a little bit to get him to be sort of like a goofball kind of character to, you know, kind of work around that and stuff. But I thought there was progression with him and Jesse, which I liked. I don't know how relationships really work in the world of toys. They kind of go into it a little bit with Woody and Bo, but obviously you can't go like too adult. You have to kind of just they
Yeah.
kind of exist in toy world, I guess. But
Yeah,
like,
I thought what they did pretty good with Toy Story 5 is when the children are playing with the toys and doing the scenarios, the
mhm.
animation kind of goes into this different style of animation, and you're seeing like something like
Yeah.
that. I thought that was kind of cool, like that they took that like approach. Because I know they've done that with the previous ones, but it was just kind of like, but they kind of just did this whole like, well, when it's in the fantasy of the kids, we're gonna have this certain style of animation, which is different from the normal animation. I was like, that was pretty cool.
I think it's hold on.
Oh,
Sorry.
bless you.
Thank you. I think it's interesting because like the first one, it's more of the audience perspective, seeing how Andy plays with the toys. Then the third one, you're seeing into Andy's imagination, and the fifth one, you're seeing like into Bonnie's and her friends' imaginations.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, but that's fine because that's how the toys. That's how they live. That's how they sort of exist, and it's really interesting because like I'm even a fan of. They did like these mini shorts in between 3 and 4. Yeah, and they kind of already tackled the tech stuff to a degree, but it was video games. It wasn't like the, you know, the iPad. And they kind of had a whole short about that. And so I was like, they kind of treading old ground. How are they going to make it different? But they do. They really do kind of make it about this new generation and stuff. And like, you know, certain kids don't play the way that we used to when we were kids. So I think that that's really like interesting and how that dynamic has really kind of shifted and changed and stuff. But no, I still say with 4 and 5, even though they're not necessary, I think that they're still good movies, and to me it's one of the best animated franchises that's ever like existed.
Consistent.
Pretty much,
it's consistent where it's done enough where you don't, you know, even if people were kind of just like, and with 4, it was still not terrible, and it was still it still moved the needle, and it still. And then when it came to this one, it was like, oh wow, okay, you guys brought in this aspect, and it definitely worked. And there's going to be a 6 because this movie's doing gangbusters and everything. But I want to get your thoughts on the Odyssey.
Yeah, the Odyssey I saw opening night. It was funny because I know the 70 millimeter IMAX showing sold out like a year in advance and stuff. But so I'm in Florida, and you wouldn't think it, but depending on where in Florida you are, like there's actually a lot of theaters down here because people are huge fans of being in dark, air-conditioned rooms in Florida.
Yeah,
so
especially in summer.
Yeah, so they're pretty much everywhere. But there was an IMAX theater like 25 minutes from here, so it didn't even occur to me because I think I was almost going to wait it out a little bit longer just because like I knew that everything was going to be sold out, but. I decided, I was like, oh, it's the 16th. I wonder if there's any early showings. And I found an IMAX theater literally, like this is like 9 o'clock in the morning, and there's a 2 o'clock showing, and I found a seat like in the middle like row, and it was perfect. It was like a perfect seating arrangement. The whole theater sold out like pretty fast. So I got in there. I saw it, you know, for a 3-hour movie, it's really good. I have more. Like I enjoyed it as a film. I have like nitpicks about certain choices that Nolan makes in terms of his interpretation of it. I think it's weird and interesting that he kind of treats the Cyclops and the gods and all these things almost as like natural. It's magic, but it's almost like a natural disaster kind of.
Like, well, he wanted to ground. He was trying to ground. You know, obviously it's Nolan. He's trying to ground things. So. So like, you know, that's what everybody was kind of wondering, is like, how is he going to take that? And I thought for the most part, it was like good. Yeah. I was actually surprised at how much like, how he's like approaching. I mean, the Cyclops scene was pretty awesome in my opinion. I thought it was like pretty sweet, but yeah.
I was more, it was like nitpicks. I was more annoyed that we didn't get the, it's a very known part of the mythology where like the Cyclops and him have conversations, they talk, and like the Cyclops asks him about like, what's your name? Oh, I'm nobody, you know, and like that kind of stuff. So I was annoyed that that wasn't in there. But Nolan, I guess, had tried to do it, and then he changed his mind. It didn't work or something like that. So they try to make it a point that like the reason the Cyclops doesn't really talk to them is because he sees them as ants. Like he doesn't see them as beings or whatever. So that's kind of how the gods and these creatures treat, Odysseus and his men pretty much throughout the rest of the picture and everything too, which is interesting. It's I think what he succeeds more at, what I think people will remember about this interpretation as the decades go on, is that Odysseus himself is such a mythological character at this point. Like he's basically myth unto himself. So I think it's interesting in the way that Nolan approaches him, because he makes him much more of a three-dimensional character throughout the process of the movie. He has Odysseus being a man of honor and being a man of intelligence, because that's what he's really known for, is that he's always thinking ahead. He's always smart in that way. But he is a man who's also had to abandon his family for war, and what the war has done, and how his idea to use the Trojan horse and how that's changed the landscape and how that has affected him as a person, and like how he reflects upon it when returning home and things of that nature. So I thought that was an interesting way to go about it, and I thought that was a way to make him a more interesting character, especially someone who is as well. No, I mean, the Odyssey is one of our oldest stories. It's older than the Bible. It's been reinterpreted. Fucking Harold and Kumar and SpongeBob have done the Odyssey. I mean, it's my favorite interpretation of it is "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" I think that's a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
I also recommend checking out the 90s television miniseries.
I remember watching that in history class.
Same. And I think you can watch it for free on YouTube. I think they have it in 2 parts. You don't have to pay for it either, which is good. But yeah, I think this was an interesting way of going about it. There's an interesting take how Zeus's law is reflective. I mean, you can't really go into spoilers about.
I know that's the thing. I was like, we can't go into spoilers really, because it's a story that's as old as time kind of thing. So, but I was just like, you don't have to like go. I mean, you could talk about like whatever. Well, like
it was my interpretation, because the whole point of Zeus's law, or the way that they keep explaining it over and over again, is that you should treat every stranger as though they are family, or as though they are of no harm to you. They are welcome in your home, because they may be a god in disguise or something of that nature, right? Or so I mean, this is what's also really important about Nolan. What I find is that his story structure is almost never linear.
No, it never is. Never is.
And I thought this was beneficial to this interpretation of the Odyssey, because even my brain just automatically, I was like, yeah, we're going to see him leave, then he's going to go to Troy, then Troy's going to happen, and then he's going to leave and go back home. But then I forget, right, we're just watching a Nolan movie. And it actually is beneficial because it keeps the pace going. And, his family, his son, is reflective on like how his absence has affected their outcome, or even where we find Odysseus in the beginning of the movie, and his reflection on what's happened to him, and like what he remembers of Troy and things of that nature and stuff. So I thought that was really cool. But my interpretation was in the Battle of Troy, we see towards the end of the picture, because Athena has been following him the whole way as he's going back home. Yeah, played by Zendaya. And then during the Battle of Troy, obviously these are Greeks who have been, going at these walls for a decade, and then they break through. And as he says, they let all of their anger and rage out on the city, basically. And it's not pretty what happens. And they bring you see them pillaging, you see them burning things down, you see them raping women. I mean, horrible things happen. And just before one of the soldiers cuts the head off of one of the statues and stuff, you see a woman brought before Odysseus, and it's Zendaya. And so it was my interpretation that either one, it was Athena pretending to be among the mortals until she's captured and, killed in front of him. And of course she's a god, so she can't, be killed. Or it's him thinking about the Zeus's law that he's now broken through the Trojan horse, and she has been killed in front of him. She's innocent, so to speak. And then Athena, because the gods can choose to appear as anything,
Any form, yeah,
any form to the mortals. You know, many times Zeus showed up as a swan. Athena has shown up as an owl. So Athena decides to take the shape and the form of that girl to basically not mock Odysseus, but basically to have him be reflective on that moment or something like that. At least that was my interpretation. I don't know if that was the intent.
That's a good interpretation. Like I said, Nolan just has a way of like, and that's the whole time. Like I'm thinking, I'm like, how is he gonna bring? What is he gonna do? What is he gonna reveal towards the end? Because I mean, when I walked out of Oppenheimer, I was like, you know, even going into Oppenheimer, I'm like, how is he going to do this? And I remember walking out of that movie. Obviously, you don't walk out feeling great, you know.
No.
But like I remember, I was walking out with my ex-girlfriend, and got in the car, and I was telling her, I was like, nobody else could have made that movie that good, because just he fucking, and I said he Nolaned it. He Nolaned the shit out of it. And I even said it in my reviews and stuff. I'm like, just the way that he tells a story, there's just nobody else could have done it like that. Right. And I look at the Odyssey kind of similar, where it's like, I was like, yeah, I'm like, I have faith. Obviously, it's Christopher Nolan, and then just the way that he was like telling the story. I mean, I even said too, like the first act, it was a little rough for me because, you know, just, you know, he always has a problem with like the sound design,
dialogue,
little too loud. But even though like when it's loud, like during like, you know, when they're on the ship and they're going through a storm, holy shit, did I feel that? I felt that in my goddamn fucking soul.
Zeus's force.
Like, dude, oh, I mean, there was like during the big like sequences, the sound design, you feel that like within you. Like I was like, Jesus Christ. But like when it comes to like just when there's like the party thing and the background voices are loud, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like there's certain aspects with the first act, like the first 20 minutes, where I was kind of going, whoa, it's going, it's cutting, it's going pretty, and to me it was like, oh, this is starting off a little jarring. And then it settled in, and I went, oh, okay, now we're good. Now when it settled into like, okay, we're getting into the Odyssey, the story, and I was like, and then everything was like good. And then that final act, man, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, bro. Like
the way that build up just goes crazy.
There's a moment between, I don't even want to say the character name. Let's just say there's a moment that two characters needed to have before the final act.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna lie.
You're talking about.
Part of me did choke up. I was.
Oh like, yeah.
Because there was, you know, circumstances where trying to have this communication go about, but there was an acknowledgement without having to be fully acknowledged. I was like, son of a bitch, no, like he did the fucking the Matthew McConaughey thing. Yeah, he did McConaughey in Interstellar. He got me, and now he got me with this. And yeah, I was, and dude, like as someone. It's weird. I had such bad luck trying to catch his prologues for the past few years. When Avatar Fire and Ash came out, I was like, I am not missing that prologue. Even in Christmas, I am not missing that prologue. And so, God bless the AMC ladies in LA when I was there at the Burbank 16. I was like, listen, I can't stay to watch Avatar, but can I get my refund? But can I stay to watch the prologue? Then I go watch the prologue. I sat down, and the prologue. I'm not gonna say where it happened in the movie, but I was just like, oh, we're getting to that shit I saw 6 months ago, and I was just like, it's just as good as I saw 6 months ago. And man,
I still remember that prologue. I mean, yeah, it was right in front of Avatar. My dad, we went to an IMAX theater, like 3D IMAX, because I was like, this is the only way we could see Avatar. And it was funny because I was wondering, I was like, are we gonna get the prologue? And sure enough, it started playing. And my dad was like, are we watching Avatar? like because it was like a 6-7 minute freaking, and I'm like, it's a prologue. It's just trying to just like get you excited for this. It's like, I swear we're watching Avatar, but at first he was like, are we in the right movie? here because it was like because he had no idea. I should have warned him that it possibly could have happened. But yeah, he was kind of like confused, like, why are we watching? Like, this is like a whole thing of another movie that's happening that, no. But I was like, but I was in my head when it started playing, I was like, oh, we're getting it. Fuck yeah, we're getting the prologue,
Mm-hmm.
And obviously in the movie, when you see it, I mean, it's a Christopher Nolan movie. So, you're seeing it multiple times through the, which is good. It jumps. But that's the thing that's what I love about Christopher Nolan is like, yeah, he does not tell a linear story. And I was curious of like how he was going to tell this story non-linear, and yeah, he fucking does it. And it's just, and again, you kind of walk out going, Jesus Christ. Like I think Nolan's kind of like with Oppenheimer in this, there's a cynicism to just like the human experience in war and shit that he's just kind of displaying right now, where it's like war is fucked, like shit is fucked, like man has done, and it's like
there's a reveal, and I was like,
yeah,
I was like, oh, that's fucked, man. I was like, nah. And you could feel this is fucked up to say, Matt Damon, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry, but kudos to the makeup artist. I felt the gray. There's moments where he does have gray hair, and I was just like, I felt the mileage on all those hairlines. Like it was. Oh man, it was so.
Yeah, they did a good job of weathering him.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, there's interesting things that he chooses to omit from the movie. I mean, granted, the movie is like 2 hours and 50 minutes, like roughly without credits. Yeah. So it's like. It's a long movie, but again, most Odyssey adaptations anywhere between 3 to 4 hours. So that didn't shock me when I found out the runtime. But as it is, there's a few things that are omitted. I think the most interesting aspect of it, in terms of the character of Odysseus, is that his infidelity is not brought up in this version, pretty much, which is interesting because I mean at least from the version that I saw with the TV miniseries, he does it for different reasons. He's not like just going out of his way to cheat on Penelope. It's more of like, part of the quest and everything too. But I think that was interesting that it's kind of omitted in this version. I mean, you can assume that things happen maybe with Calypso, but
it's alluded to.
Yeah. But the way that it's very different from other versions that I've seen, but the way that he is on Calypso's island, it's not out of like, there's part of him that doesn't want to go home, but it's not that. It's more of like she has him under her spell, sort of thing, until he just eventually breaks free. But what I think really needs to be shouted out, though, more than anything, apart from the main cast, is Robert Pattinson and especially John Leguizamo.
Dude.
Leguizamo was great. Like
I've always loved Leguizamo. He's always like, no matter what movie he's in, whether it's Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, like, he always brings it. Like the fact that he's Clown and Spawn is crazy. Like
dude, he was so good in that fucking that's the best part of Spawn was him as a clown. He was the best part.
Yeah, that movie. And he's one of the best parts in this film. Like watching one with the Odyssey, which I really appreciated as far as the filmmaking side of things. It reminded me of like the old school movies that they used to make, even back when we were kids in like the early 2000s. Like they would put a lot of time and effort to practical things and practical sets and just like A plus cast, like that kind of thing. And what was always great about those productions is that they would bring in basically like a character actor and just throw him in there and have him act his ass off. And like, kind of like Oliver Reed doing, the mentor lead in Gladiator. That's kind of what Leguizamo is to a degree. He's not like, a champion fighter, but he's been around. He's seen this shit. He's lived and breathed with Odysseus. He knows enough to be like, I'm going to have mentor keep an eye on you, like Telemachus, the son, Tom Holland, like make sure that you can at least fight, things like that nature. He protects the dog because he's like, the dog is my master's dog. Like, don't kick the fucking dog, you asshole. Like things like that. Yeah. Pattinson's very interesting in this movie because I was discussing with my friends about actors and stuff. Like there's usually two different categories. And with actors, it's basically you have like, and again, both equally good for different reasons, but you have like a Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson, Harrison Ford type where they can play different characters, but you're also buying them.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Right. And then
Yeah.
the other end of it is Gary Oldman and like
Yes.
Lewis, which are
Who
chameleons.
lose themselves, like Christian Bale and fucking,
Yeah.
you know, who transform. Yeah.
Yeah, you throw them into the character, they become the character.
Yeah.
Pattinson is strangely like kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
Because he looks like Pattinson to a degree in almost every
But
version
he'll
that
do
he's in.
something to his voice where it's just
Yeah.
like slightly different. And it's like Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's kind of like that too,
Yeah.
where he tweaks his voice where it's like, I know that's Tom Hardy, but he sounds different and he's kind of walking different. He's just kind of different. But it's not so drastic. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what his real voice. I mean, I'm assuming he's using his real voice in interviews and things like that. Like, I know what he sounds like in real life, but like, I can buy him as a different variation on Batman, and then I can also buy him as this sort of almost like Joffrey type, sniveling, spoiled,
Dick.
like land baron or whatever you want to refer to him as. But I call him like the head suitor in my head. I know he has a name, but I just know him. That's what I kept calling him when I was watching the movie. But he does it so well. Like when Odysseus returns and the revenge comes about to the suitors, like the people were cheering in my theater, like when the shit hits the fan and everything, and especially with him because of like how things go about and stuff like that. But the fact that Nolan and the actors can get an emotion out of the theater like that from a 3,000-year-old story that's been told many, many times. I think that is to say that there's something there and there's something good.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I was kind of wondering. I'm like, how is this going to translate? How are I was like wondering if like my dad, my brother, my nephew are going to like it. I mean, my dad really liked it, my brother liked it, my nephew liked it, and and it was a pretty full theater as well. And I'm like, how and that's the thing. That's what's good. That's what's great about Christopher Nolan. I mean, when people are doubting and all the campaigns about him and this and all the stupid shit that was like the backlash. And I love how he just didn't let anything bother him. It's just like, whatever, it's like, he didn't care. It's like, this is my thing. And all the stuff that everybody was like griping about, like casting choice and stuff like that. It was a very, very small part of the whole thing. It was like, not even like a big thing, to the point where it was like, it wasn't even anything. And those actors, their parts, every actor did their thing that they needed to do. It was fine. I mean, I'll even say like, maybe sometimes the dialogue was a little,
The dialogue is really the only huge nitpick that bothers me that can't really be fixed in post kind of deal, because I understand why they did it. Hey, William, I understand why it was done to a degree, because maybe Nolan and his associates are like, well, we need this to make a good chunk of change. We need to kind of like, reach out to like the
updated dialogue kind of thing. Well, like, maybe,
I would have been fine if Tom Holland just referred to him as father when he's saying my dad's coming back, and it's like I kind of chuckled a little bit because I'm like,
there's sometimes weird. Where the dialogue is a little, it's a little wonky, but and I was like, and I could see
that's marketing for you right there. Yeah. Listen, Americans don't go for that other shit. Americans go for the way that they talk, just like The Ring. The original Ring, or Let the Right One In, there's nothing wrong with the original works. Those movies are classics. But you know what? We're not reading subtitles, and we ain't speaking that.
Sadly.
No, it's not happening. An average American, sadly, wants to hear people talk like they do. If you want to make that kind of money, which is, you got to do it.
No, I mean, but at the same time, it's like, I even talked about that too. That was like sometimes the dialogue was a little, especially like I said, the first act was the thing where I was like, whoa, I don't know about this. It kind of caught me up for like the first 20 minutes or something like that. I was kind of like, but then when it settled in, I was good for the rest of the freaking ride. I mean, that's but at the same time, I was kind of like that with, I've been like that with other Nolan. I mean, that's the thing is like, I can be one of those people, as even though Christopher Nolan's like one of my all-time favorite directors, could be even my all-time favorite director, because I don't think he has a bad movie. I can still critique and be like, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. When it comes to, even when it came to previous movies, with I can have critiques on Oppenheimer and Tenet.
Yeah.
Dunkirk and shit like that. It's like I can have my, oh yeah, there are certain things I didn't like when it came to that, but I'm like, but at the same time, when I look at the movie as a whole, I'm going, I don't know how the fuck he did that. I'm like, he still pulled some shit off where I'm going, I don't even like, Jesus Christ, like, yeah, a little wonky right here, but this scene right here, like, I mean, seriously, like the scene when they're in the boat and they're going through a storm, I was uncomfortable in my seat because I felt like I was on the fucking boat. And I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I'm about to have a panic attack. Like,
imagine trying to feel how what they were making it.
Yes,
like, not just casting it, making it.
He even said that actors were throwing up. Like,
Did anybody in your theater throw up?
Throwing up, huh?
Did anybody in your theater throw up?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because Cloverfield, I had old people throwing up on me.
Well, yeah, that's Cloverfield.
Yeah,
I could see that because it's
Can't say I'm surprised.
There was the time, because I wasn't like, I think it's a well-made movie. I wasn't huge on Dunkirk, but I saw that in 70 millimeter IMAX when that came out. And dude, like when like one of the main characters is in that boat, like he goes from like one disaster to the next, and he's in the boat that's about to like and he's able to get out just in time. I had a panic attack in the theater when that was happening.
The teasers, the trailers. I remember, like you were talking about how built up in sound and music. The teasers felt that like time is ticking all the way. And like I remember one of the trailers had the shot of somebody trying to open a door and the water just filling in the room. And I remember just being like, "Fuck me!" I think I heard someone in the podcast said that they had a relative who was a veteran of World War II.
Oh man,
watching I think either Dunkirk or another movie, and they said that just seeing the visuals of the movie made them feel the scent of oil in the water, like they were. I'm like, that is.
See, that's the thing, is like that's what Nolan knows how to do. He knows how to give it, just like James Cameron does with like when it comes to Avatar. It's like they're trying to immerse you into an experience. You're not going to feel that when you're watching it at home. Sure, I think like I even said, like with the Avatar movies, I don't watch those at who watches the Avatar movies when you're on your little fucking, it's not that, it doesn't have the same impact. I can still watch a Nolan movie. I can still watch Oppenheimer, and I can watch this one, and it's different. Like it's just a different caliber of filmmaker, but it's at the same time, it's like he's trying to give you an experience. And I think like when it comes to the sound design, I think like there's sometimes where it's like, oh, in this scene, Chris, you need to turn down, you need to like, adjust. But in certain scenes and see certain sequences, I mean, I wasn't even in like, I mean, I was in a good theater that has great sound. I mean, my seat was vibrating in many moments, like to the point where I was like, hey, buy me dinner first, Chris. I mean, I'm getting tickled here in certain regions of my body where it's like, God damn, like, and like, like I said, with that, when that certain boat sequence, I was like, Jesus Christ. But again, he shows, he's always talked about like, oh yeah, I want to do a horror movie. I just haven't found the right story yet. He's displayed in this movie where it's like, oh, we know you could do horror. We have two sequences in this movie that is, well, I mean, let's face it, the Odyssey has horror sequences. I mean, let's face it, when it comes to certain aspects of the story, and the two specifically ones, the Cyclops one, and then of course, the dinner thing. It's just like, just, you just kind of go like, holy shit. I'm like, this
is warm up. Yeah, he's warming up for that.
I mean, once we get a Christopher Nolan horror movie, it's gonna be, people are gonna be like throwing up in the theater, or at least like going, oh my god, like he does a good job of, I was not. It was funny because when that scene, the dinner, the food sequence, it was funny because when the character was, when they named the character, I was like, oh, I went, oh. And my dad was like, well, I was like, did you hear the name? I was like, the name, that's a witch. She's a witch. I was like, you don't know that name? Because when you hear the name, oh, we could say it's Cersei. It's like, and I was like, oh yeah, some bad shit's about to happen. Like, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. She's part of this too. I was like kind of remembering. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a fucked up scene. And sure enough, it was a fucked up scene.
Really
And so, like, when people are just totally casting this out as like, oh, this movie's terrible because of this, it's so funny because I've seen the pivot. I've seen the pivot because now that people know that the casting choices that were controversial were minor, now all of a sudden they're going like, yeah, but the movie's still bad. And they're like trying to make up like, oh, because of this. It's like, oh, yeah, the dialogue's bad. I'm like, okay, the dialogue's not that sharp in certain spots, but you can't tell me that the scene, you know, the dinner, the food scene, or the fucking boat scene, or the Cyclops scene, you're telling me that's fucking bad? That's not bad. That's great. This is great filmmaking right here.
Oh yeah.
Are you telling me that you can't just like your heels are so locked in to shit on this movie now that the whole woke shit didn't, you know, go into your favor? Now you're just like, the movie just sucks because of dialogue. It's like, okay, well, what about the sequences when there's no dialogue and you're just seeing imagery and you're hearing score and sound? What the fuck? Like, you can't tell me that is not, and it's just
nonsense.
It's bullshit. I hate
nonsense.
That.
To me, the thing I've been hearing the most throughout Nolan's career that people have either issues with, which I can understand, although I don't have that much, is his sound mixing, sound editing, and his editing in the film, like how pacing and stuff like that. Not the structure of non-linear stuff, but like his editing stuff, and also some of its fight stuff, which I think in this one he did good. I like there's a lot of fighting. Like moments again because I didn't grow up with the story, I didn't read into it. I'm going like, wait, what are we gonna do with now? What are we gonna do with now? And just keep hammering you on. And so like I get that. Like Tenet, I like the movie, but thank God I saw it in subtitles. If not, I'd be like, wait, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, I know. See, that's the thing. It's like sometimes he has a problem. I mean, this kind of stemmed from Dark Knight Rises, where
I heard
when the prologue was shown and people were like, I can't understand Tom Hardy. That was where it kind of like the whole sound design for Christopher Nolan stemmed from. Like, because prior to that, he didn't really have an issue. There was no issue with sound and hearing anything. Like, everything was fine. But for some reason, I think when it came to Dark Knight Rises, that's where it kind of stemmed from. Because I remember when that prologue got released and people were like, I can't understand what Tom Hardy was saying. And that's where it kind of started.
Yeah, the issue might also be too, as far as the sound goes, is because a lot of those sequences, like the Bane sequence, shot on IMAX cameras, and that was back in 2012, 2011, when the IMAX cameras were loud as fuck, and they've only now improved it somewhat. That's why this movie was such a big deal too for Nolan, because he was able to shoot the entire film on IMAX footage. The whole film is IMAX. So he got IMAX literally to invent technology to improve their IMAX cameras, make them quieter, so that he could shoot on that film, basically, because he's like, I want to shoot the whole thing on IMAX.
Yeah, but even like with this too, like I remember Tom Holland, this is like his first experience with all this. Like he thought that Tom Holland said that he thought that he was fucking up because they would, things would get cut after like 2 or 3 minutes, not realizing that because that's the only amount of time that an IMAX camera could. And these are new IMAX cameras too, by the way. Mm-hmm. These are the first of their kind, the first enhanced of their kind that they're using for this. So it's like, it's all, and that's the thing. It's like, and of course, I think they're quieter now, but they still are going to make a noise because they're freaking, they're so, but at the same time, it's like, and I think, that does definitely have an impact.
These new ones were encased in what's called the blimp. I looked this up and stuff like that helps soften the noise, as well as the newer cameras are a little bit quieter too on top of that. So the blimp actually works also as a protective thing around the camera, because they're also very fragile. I think Nolan broke like 3 to 5 of them in all of his productions using IMAX cameras over the years. So, and each camera, I think, costs anywhere of upwards of $500,000 each. So you got to be really careful. But I saw it in IMAX, and I'm going to be seeing it again Monday in 70 millimeter IMAX.
That's what I'm hoping to fucking sniff out one of those too.
Yeah,
I want to take my mom. She wants to see it, and I'm like, all right, if I could sniff out a freaking 7 millimeter, I think, hopefully.
I got lucky. I have a friend that's always on the lookout for those things, and I was talking about the Odyssey in our group chat, and he sent me a link because there's strangely enough like a good theater from here. Again, different theater than the other one, but another one is about 25 minutes from here because I'm currently in Hollywood, Florida, which is pretty close to Miami. So there's a lot of different, like avenues to do that and stuff. So, but I have to go at it's an 8 o'clock showing in the morning of all things. So
yeah,
I got to wake up early just to go see this. And so it'll be a nice wake up session and stuff, but it'll be cool to see it on the film screen. I did the same thing with Oppenheimer. I saw it in Jordan's IMAX and regular projection. Then I went to Providence Place Showcase Cinemas, and they had it in 70 millimeter IMAX, so I was able to see it on the film grain and stuff like that.
It's so crazy how much better that looks. It's crazy to think and that's the bad part about as much as we enjoy the big blockbuster movies and the superhero stuff, the comic book stuff, but man, I mean, there's something that's lost. That shooting digitally and stuff like that, there's something that is a little bit lost when it comes to it. Like anytime that I've seen a movie, and I remember seeing Dunkirk 7 millimeter, and it was and then watching it digitally on my TV, and I'm like, not the same. There's things that were just not the same. There's just something about film, and then even when it comes to obviously they released the trailer for Digger for the Tom Cruise's movie, and Alejandro
Inarritu.
Yeah. And it's I saw the trailer before, and it was so funny. My dad was like, well, that looks good. I don't know what the hell it's about. I was like, yeah, we're seeing it. We're seeing it. But it's I watched an interview with Tom Cruise, and, this is one of the things that makes Tom Cruise a great movie star, and one of the last remaining great movie stars is the guy who's interviewing him. I forgot his name. He's got a YouTube channel, pretty big movie YouTube channel. And he was talking about how, framing and using certain lenses for the camera.
Karen McCarthy.
Yeah. And
love that dude. Good dude.
That's the thing. That's what I love about Zach. That's what I love about Tarantino. That's what I love about, these filmmakers, as much as they're going to use a new technology, but it's all about lenses. It's all, you have to, the scope of the movie is a big thing where it's and the fact that Tom Cruise, he's all about that. And I love how he responded to his, when, something he's always studied and learned. And this is Tom Cruise, never directed a movie, but he's always so part of the process. And this is why Tom Cruise has lasted. And this is why he is that movie star, is because he's not just walking on set and just doing his lines, doing his scenes. And he's he's in it. He's in every little aspect of it. Pre-production, production, post-production. I mean, and he's studying up. He knows the lenses. He knows the camera work. He knows the cinema. He's friendly with the cinematographer and, of course, the director, where he knows this is how we're going to shoot this frame, and this is the kind of lenses we're using. This is what the shot's going to look like, and everything. And that's the thing that I'm loving the fact that I think with all the I think we're what people are remembering this year is there's some really cool filmmaking that's happening, even when it comes to a small movie like Obsession, where you have Curry Barker, who when you go back and you look at Curry Barker's little sketches and you go, oh fuck, even with these little sketches that they did, they're shot so they're shot like movies. And he even said that they took it upon themselves to shoot it we're not going to just shoot it with just a fucking phone. We're going to make it look good. And then you kind of go well, that's why Obsession looks good. And these scenes in the dark, and people are like going like, what the fuck? Like why does this look so good for a fucking $750K budgeted movie? It's crazy. But I think like people are like trying to be like, oh wait, we're getting back to like, hey, we're not. And that's the thing that, when it comes to even Spider-Man Brand New Day is gonna end, Avengers Doomsday. It's like we have, and Supergirl suffered from it too. It's like, hey, we gotta realize that, like, yeah, you can make it flashy things on the screen, but if you don't make it feel cinematic, people are gonna be like, yeah.
I do know that Tom got influenced by doing the Odyssey because he was supposed to shoot Spider-Man, and then he got the Odyssey, and so he convinced Marvel and Sony to hold off for a bit so that he could do the Odyssey and stuff. And then he came back to Spider-Man, and he realized that there's a lot of stuff that could be improved because he had been shooting what essentially was what I want to call like a real movie, basically, like a lot of practical things. But I do know that him and the director of Shang-Chi they worked really hard to try and bring back some more practical aspects of it. Like there's footage of him being shot of, him shooting the webs and everything like that in a practical suit, like in the suit that he's in the movie, trying to make it feel more alive and more real as opposed to, a lot of the CGI that had come before. I mean, I know this is a much more personal Spider-Man movie. It's not so much like an event Spider-Man movie. I think what I liked about Homecoming was that it was much more about him being on the ground and not being in like an Avengers. Yeah, it's much more simple. It's not him trying to be in an Avengers adventure. It's him doing a Spider-Man thing. So there is that. But I can't speak for Doomsday. I don't think we're even getting a full trailer of that until San Diego Comic-Con.
Allegedly.
We've been hearing that a lot. I have a hot take. I don't think they'll even officially drop it on the Comic-Con. I think they'll officially drop it at D23, which is like a few weeks after Comic-Con. I think that's when they'll drop it.
I think it would. I mean, my personal take I think it'd be better to do it at San Diego because
I think it's gonna happen. I'm a bet it's gonna happen at San Diego.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
50 at this point. But
yeah, I mean, D23 they could do it, but honestly, I think for fans, I think you need to do it at the comic convention. You're Marvel. You gotta. I think you gotta be there for comic book fans because they're
to them. Yes, but I don't think putting it online. I think that's what I meant. Like, I don't think they'll put it online that weekend. I think they'll show it to those who did camp out and went in Hall H.
Right.
Because I feel like a lot of them would be like, wait a minute, we camped out for a day or two just to see something that we could have seen on YouTube like 15 minutes afterwards. And like, if they do planning on putting it out officially for the whole world, then I hope the people in Hall H get a little bit something else exclusive for them. And be like, all right,
we get like we get free stuff. Like we'll get a mask or something. I mean,
I would not be.
I always assume people did Hall H because now that it's been more standard practice to release it like a day later or something like that. I mean, you get the bragging rights that you have to see before everybody else, basically. Especially
when you're in person, like when Robert Downey Jr. takes off that mask, you're there 100 feet away from where the closest we were.
Phil, you were in Hall H for that, right?
Yeah,
sure was.
So was
awesome. Yeah, so like that's the thing as opposed to the later on.
That could have been streamed on YouTube and it wouldn't have been the same as being there when that place went wild over that, man.
Right.
That was 2 years ago. Fuck.
But to Dave's point, I do think that the bigger IPs are getting hit in certain ways where they need to up their game, basically. But on the other hand, not all the IPs have been like hurt this year. I know the Toy Story is about to make another $1 billion. I know the Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie made over $1 billion. So I mean, it's not all IPs, but the bigger tentpoles that we're used to, like Star Wars and DC and Marvel, have been hurting, and
we also got Michael made a so we got
Michael made a billion.
Biopic.
Yeah, it sure did.
Biopic made $1 billion, but so we got that as well. But we got somebody coming on that hasn't been on for a while. We got Mr. Samuel. Speaking of Michael, he's got a poster right behind him. What's happening, Samuel? Right. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on, you guys? How's everybody doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
I thought you were going to sleep, fool.
I know.
He
told me he's all, I got to go to sleep in like 15 minutes, but I'll stop by.
Yeah,
Good to
I heard
see you,
y'all
dude.
talking
It's been
about
a long
Oppenheimer, or
time.
not Oppenheimer, but the Odyssey, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, it's been so long, man.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I think the last time when was it? What was the premiere that
I
we
don't
were
know.
at for
It
Zack
was- it's been a
Snyder's?
bit. I can't even remember.
I think that's what it was, but
yeah, no, I heard y'all
do-
talking about
you
the
know what- you know what I
Odyssey,
will
and I was
say?
like,
You
I
know
didn't
what
want to
will
miss
say
it.
when it comes to Sam is one time like I think it was like the first time you came on the Vodka stream. I didn't have a panel. It was just me and you, and we talked for 3 hours. You were like one of the only ones that I mean, maybe like Stephen Colbert was like another one, but you were like one of the only like where I was like, I have a guest on, and then I thought I'll get a panel on too, but nobody was available, and we talked for like 3+ hours just about movies and shit like that. I remember that. And that's what's great about Sam. So good to see you, buddy.
Yeah. It's good to see you too, man.
Yeah.
It's good to
But
see you
yeah,
guys.
we're talking Odyssey, and I know you saw it, and yeah, what are your thoughts? Give your thoughts.
Oh man, it's a masterpiece. I mean, even the idea, the attempt of what he was trying to do, and try to make it as practical as possible with very little CG, with a huge cast like this. There's so many ways that he could have failed, and most times, had more actors. Like spotlight has to be on the right timing, and things just don't work out. But they found a way of making every single moment count for a very different telling of this story. And there's been so many different versions. Like I even remember like the miniseries that was one of my favorites.
We were talking about that. Yeah, I remember watching it.
Like,
it's cool.
And like one of the more recent incarnations called Epic the Musical. If you guys have never heard Epic the Musical, which is the audio version of the Odyssey told in its entirety, like that is astonishing and amazing, great vocals. But like for him to kind of take this and make it his own, I mean, dude, I don't know. There's so much to gush about this movie. I don't even know if I have time to even think about it, because I haven't seen it but once, and I did see it in 70 millimeter, which is a blessing.
Lucky.
But I feel like this is one of those ones, unlike Oppenheimer, unlike Dunkirk, is one of those Nolan movies I want to see again and again and truly appreciate it. Regardless if it's almost 3 hours long, it didn't feel like that. And
no, it definitely didn't feel like that for me. And I even said that to my dad. I was like, it didn't feel like 3 hours. I was like, it flowed. It flowed very well.
Yeah. Very, very well
But
paced.
shout out to Matt Damon and Tom Holland because they killed it. But John Leguizamo,
yeah. MVP.
He should be a supporting actor.
He really
should be
was.
nominated.
He's always just like that. I mean, it was funny too because my dad, he goes, "Hey, isn't that's the Mexican dude from John Wick, right?" Like, my dad's Mexican. It's so funny. It's like when he said that, I was like, yeah. it's John Leguizamo. It's like I'm like John Leguizamo. I remember watching his one-man performances, like what he used to do when he did like a one-man show. I don't know if you guys ever watched those.
I saw a Netflix one.
The late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Dude, phenomenal. Like I forgot what they're called. I forgot what the one of them was called. That was like his best one, but he would do these one-man shows talking about his life. Fucking phenomenal. Like they were just, I mean, the dude he's always been like a talent. I think there was times where, when they were trying to make him, I remember he was in that movie, The Pest, in like the 90s, and that was terrible. Obviously, Super Mario Brothers was terrible. He didn't find his footing, but he found his footing with certain movies,
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet. I remember, yeah, that's right. He was Mercutio. I forgot.
He was Tybalt, I believe, because
Okay.
No, but I mean, it's important because I think Tybalt kills Mercutio, right? Romeo and Juliet. It's been a while since I've read the play, but yeah.
God, what an ambitious movie that was. Jesus Christ.
That's an underrated movie, by the way. That soundtrack.
You know what? To be honest, I think it's a good movie, but it's called Freak. Yeah, you're right, Sam. Thank you for yeah. He had his one-man show was called Freak.
Interesting.
If you can find it, watch it. It's so great. Like it's not stand-up. It's a one-man show. It's a performance. It's a stage performance with just him talking about his life, talking about his family. Phenomenal. And I've always liked John Lee, and it's like And in this movie, yeah, he stands out. He definitely stands out in this movie, and I think a lot of people thought he was like probably like a favorite in the movie for sure.
Did y'all hear about the context?
No.
Like him. So basically, he was wearing contacts.
Oh
the
yeah.
whole entire time, and these were actually blinding him. Like he could not see.
So he could not see. So he
like
he went
legitimate.
method.
He
Yeah.
full method. He really did.
That's good.
I think there was some trivia that I read or I saw. I think he said in an interview that he chose, because you're right, the context did blind him, but he chose to have the eyes, because the way that his eyes were like, because he had gone blind, his character, so he made sure that the contacts were different colors to make him appear more eccentric and more like memorable, but also kind of more otherworldly, I guess that's the best way to put it. But yeah. But no, you don't forget him. The second he shows up, and the way that I remembered the character, I thought he was only going to be in the movie for maybe like 10, 15 minutes, but he's
all throughout. He's all throughout.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
And he has memorable lines, and yeah, he's he's a powerhouse in that. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to watch it again. I'm going to take my mom. She wants to see it. And I'm just like, I had some problems with the opening of it because I was like, whoa. But I'm wondering if I'll like now going into the second time where I was like, okay, maybe now that I know where it's like, okay, it's going to be when it settles into, okay, here we're getting into the story and everything's just like, okay, cool, and the sound, everything. I mean, again, I can't say the sound design, especially when it comes to the boat sequence. I was like literally squirming in my seat because I was like, God damn, I feel like I'm gonna fucking drown right now or something. Jesus Christ, it was just.
I would say the Nolan movies definitely benefit from multiple viewings. I mean, I haven't had this experience, but I do know because I follow like things about Tarantino. I know that he liked Dunkirk quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he'll go and he'll do his own kind of lists about, decades of movies and stuff like that. And so he had gotten a list of the movies that he liked the most from like the 2010s, and he had Dunkirk on that list, and he had it like kind of much lower. And then when he watched it a second and third time, like it rose on the list, like to like number 3. So I've only seen it the one time in theaters. I haven't watched it since theaters because like I liked it, but I didn't like love it. But I guarantee if I watched it again, I would probably enjoy it like more and more and more the more I check it out and stuff. And I was like that way with Interstellar because I didn't appreciate it, I guess, the way that a lot of others did. Not that I hated it, but I was able to guess what the twist of that movie was going to be in terms of the reveal and the ghost and all that stuff. So that it didn't hit me the same way it did for other people, but at the same time, like it was one of my best friends, Bob. He was getting his wife. His wife wasn't a big moviegoer. He was showing his future wife like a lot of movies that he loves, and Interstellar was one of them. I was like, yeah, I don't like Interstellar as much. He's like, oh, Interstellar is like my favorite movie, dude. I was like, really? So I rewatched it with him, and I liked it, of course, more on second and third viewing. So
yeah,
it could be the same with Odyssey, very, very much so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's when I watched Dunkirk, I've probably seen it 3 times now. I mean, it's like it's one of those movies where it's like, I mean, yeah, maybe it's not like one of my favorite Nolans, but at the same time, it's like I still remember watching in the theater for the first time and just going, "Holy shit!" I mean, just the way that he tells the story, very unlinear, showing the different point of views and the way that it all comes together. It's just so beautifully done. But then again, like I said, sound design and how he makes you feel and brings you into that experience. And I think that's what's so great about him and that's what he does here too. Is like, even though like, yeah, maybe turn down the background sound and during the party sequence so I can hear the dialogue a little bit better. But at the same time, like I said, when it comes to the actual big sequences, I'm going, Jesus Christ, you're hearing every cling, every sound, yell, and then of course you have Ludwig's score, especially that final act. I mean, the way that it just goes, and like it's like it's literally like it's a ticking, you know, like a timer just counting down.
Yeah.
You're just going, oh, when it, you know, and you're hearing the and it's just like, I was just going, oh my God. And then when it finally all freaking Jesus.
Yeah, I love that. Like my experience with this film has enhanced how I see Inception now. If you look at Inception, people have been talking about, like, you know, a little bit of Odyssey and Inception when you think of Cobb character, and then the sequence in Dunkirk where the soldiers are in a boat and they're trying to stay quiet to the people. Yeah. You see where, you know, the Trojan horse sequence is like that, very much shot similar. So like I love that. Like you can tell how you like, let me try this for this movie, and now like, all right, I'm doing the Odyssey. I did this one trick in that movie. I'm gonna try to do it again and see if I can do it better. Yeah, I think he does, in my opinion, for that stuff.
He definitely took from all his different works to make this be something different. And then he went outside of his comfort zone as well. And I agree with you, Dave, because the scene that won the movie over for me was when he finally kind of got to Penelope, his wife, when he's coming up to her as the old man, and she's kind of like just having a real open conversation with him. And he starts to unpack the whole reason for his trauma, like all of it. And like recounting back to what really went down. Because the whole entire movie, we were kind of like, okay, I know this is traumatic. I know you did something wrong. I know you can't let yourself go, but why do you feel like you cannot go home? You're not deserving of going home. And that whole sequence was just buildup of anxiety. Yeah. And the sound design and the buildup and the tension was literally almost giving me a panic attack. And I was like, dude, I need a minute. I was like, y'all got to slow it down. And
can we have an intermission here?
Right. But it's just, it is perfect because it makes you understand what's been going on inside of him. Like all this whole entire time, all the things that he's done, good or bad, like this is what's been holding him up. And now he's able to admit it in a way that's reflective. And at the same time, he can kind of move forward. And it made the whole entire story go to the point I was like, I could watch this all over again. As soon as that sequence went, I was like, whatever way this ends, this is a masterpiece at this point.
I love little things within the movie that like pay off, which is surprising with Odyssey because you know the story already, but I'm surprised at the little touches that he adds. Again, I haven't read the book in a long time. I got it recently, but I'm going to go through it probably, this weekend. And this is the Daniel Mendelsohn version, translation of the story. But as it is, like it's small things. It's Odysseus's bow, which is a huge part of his identity and his version of the character that's known throughout the myth. But it's the little touch of his like twinging the bow after he has made it and stuff like that, and how that comes all the way back around to the final sequence, and then Penelope, because she knows her husband, that's what clicks for her, and it's just little things like that that click into place that like add extra. I was surprised too because I don't know if it's from the original text or not, but I loved the whole aspect of how they tie Pattinson's character to Odysseus and how they use that to emphasize his character and what he's like, how Odysseus is, and then Elliot Page and how important that character becomes. At first you think it's almost a throwaway character, and it's just like, oh, this is cool. Like, because obviously, they work together, and Nolan is pretty, loyal to his actors and stuff like that. But no, like that character becomes a vocal point both in the underworld and later towards the end when he confronts Robert Pattinson about certain things. And I was just like, man, like the way they're doing this is just so like well done. And the casting choices in this are interesting too. It's not just Elliot Page, but like when I heard that Travis Scott was going to be in the movie, I was like, okay.
Man, I was like, woo, all right.
But he opens the film and he is this bard. It's perfect for Travis because that's what he does. He spits bars, he spits these things, and of course he's telling the story of Odysseus. And I was like, that's amazing. When I heard that Benny Sadfi was supposed to be the great king that Odysseus bows to. I was like, no. And then I see the movie. I was like, oh, I get it. Okay, the way that they make his costume and the way that they present him. And
He's
like
Batman.
you don't even you never the fact that you never fully see his face in the movie though is like it's like I don't know.
Talk about aura farming that dude.
Yeah.
Oh, the door opening. Woo.
I mean, talk about aura farming when it comes to that.
Yeah. There's an old schoolness to it. It's not just the practical effects and the real fire or any of that stuff. It's just this. I don't know. It's this aura of things that they create and that they make with these decisions that they do. And it's like, okay, all right. Like I like how it's done. I know there was the controversy of oh God, I know her name.
Lupita.
Yeah, Lupita playing Helen of Troy. This is how up to date on Greek mythology I am. I thought Helen of Troy was a real person for a while, and then I was like, oh wait, her dad is Zeus. You know what? She might not be real. So like at that point,
that twist.
I don't know. I always thought Lupita was actually pretty gorgeous. I was like,
no. She works in the movie. She's fine. Well, she's
in it for. He's not even in it that much. It's all about the story. It's not.
John Berthenol's part, I think, is the most fascinating because of his connection to Odysseus, his connection to Troy, his connection to Helen, his connection to his brother, the king, and just all these different things with that is just really, really fascinating. How he helps. It's funny though too because obviously John Berthenol and Tom Holland are friends in real life, and how he's helping, the son of Odysseus and stuff. And then I'm smiling
because see him in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know in 2 weeks. Yeah, we're gonna see him and Zendaya, all Spider-Man, Punisher. So a different mythology, different stories and stuff.
Whole different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I enjoyed the picture immensely. So I look forward to seeing how it is on Monday and see if things play better or worse. But I think more or less I'm still gonna have pretty much the same experience and just be in it basically. So
yeah, I get that. But I know Phil, you got to take off because you got some things you got to do tomorrow. Yeah,
I'm getting a jump on San Diego, so yeah, we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah,
all right,
take care.
Take care.
Where can they find you? What the hell?
I don't filter anywhere except.
Well, to be fair, I did say to Phil, I was like, we won't dive into Odyssey that much, but we are.
I haven't even seen it yet.
I know, but I think that was probably part of it too. I was like, because he asked, he's all, if you're gonna talk about a lot of Odyssey, I won't join. And then I was like, we probably won't, but. Obviously, who knows what's going to happen on the stream?
What else happened this week? Anything?
The Batman.
But that got delayed 4 months. And we're just seeing footage. I'm good with that.
Okay, see, that's the thing is like I brought that up in my video too, where I was like, the reason why people are freaking out about it. Yes, it was only 4 months, but the fact that it moves from 2027 to 2028.
Yeah, it sounds longer.
It feels like, oh my God, it's delayed a year, and that's the thing is, and then of course there was a whole nerdy aspect for a lot of us where it was like, oh, we're getting a Superman movie and a Batman movie in the same year. That's never happened. Sweet. Yeah, they're not linked, but hey, it's something. Now we're not getting that. But at the same time, it's like, it only is 4 months. It's only 4 months. I think DC Studios is now kind of like doing a thing where it's like, hey, we got to start thinking about release times. And it's like in February is not a bad time, especially if you have a movie that takes place during winter, which we know, obviously looking at the camera test, we know that it is snowy. It's a snowy Gotham. I mean, obviously it would work in October, and it sucks too because it was literally coming out on my birthday, and I'm like, God damn it. October 1st. I was like, it's my birthday. Sweet. But now I got to wait another 4 months, but it's just, it's pretty crazy, but
6 years.
Yeah, I know. And I know like, there was a whole thing about good old JJ Abrams.
Mystery Box.
Yeah. And what's the movie called? The Great Beyond. Yeah. The Great Beyond, which I'm looking forward to. I'm like, hey, I like JJ, at the same time, I'm going, where the fuck?
Can y'all switch? Can you just put it in February?
Yeah,
like, yeah, I'm fine with
that.
I know. It's like, wait, you're gonna put JJ's movie right there? We're talking about the Batman right now. You know, it's like, what?
There's got to be some kind of strategy why they would do that, and
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they're worried that if they don't put it there, it's not going to survive something else that's coming in, like that time frame. But
I don't think they planned that far ahead, to be honest with you. I'm starting to get the sense right now that that everything's in such a flux that there is no cohesive plan with anything to do with this company.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know,
I think
that's fair.
I think there's like a, with Supergirl just kind of just tanking. There's been some like, we gotta there's a lot of there's been some shakeup when it comes to, because I mean, as much as James Gunn has said like, oh no, DC Studios is their own thing, we answer to ourselves. It's like, fuck. I mean, from the get go, I was like, no, you're not. You still have
your boss answers to people. Your boss answers to shareholders.
Answer to Warner Brothers and then the investors, man.
Right.
I mean, I get it. You're putting it out there, and I get it. You're trying to be like, we're our own thing, cool. But we know that's bullshit. It's like, so at the same time, it's like, and now that Superman was a success, and things have been for the most part working, and then Supergirl comes out, falls flat on his face, and now it's like, oh shit, there's a lot of
it's one, it's Matt Reeves' separate universe. Two, I know there's some detractors, but for the most part, a lot of people liked Batman Part 1, unless, and I say not knock on wood on this, unless Batman Part 2 is complete garbage, which I highly, highly, highly doubt. Between Batman Part 1 and the Penguin show, I mean, I'm one of them. I'm anticipating more about the Matt Reeves verse than I am anything DCU. I think they knew they can throw Batman pretty much anywhere, and it'll be successful because it's the Batman and it's this Batman, which is fine. Like people are invested in that world, and Pattinson doing the character and Matt Reeves directing and so on and so forth. So
I agree with you, Paul. What I'm thinking though is because Secret Wars comes out December, right? 2027.
Fair enough.
That's gonna be literally Marvel doing the reset, and then from December all the way until February, it's gonna be all Marvel. Like they can capitalize like crazy, and realistically, they're probably gonna release their X-Men movie right after that. And so I think that from DC's perception, they're probably like, okay, we got to have something. We got to have something in 2028, unless they'll have something before that. But that's why I thought that whether it's Paramount working in tandem with Warner Bros. Or Warner Bros. Making this active decision, I don't really know. But I really do feel like there's a reason why they did it this way. Now, my conspiracy theory was, are they still trying to make it work where they're trying to merge these universes together?
No.
I think Reeves will walk. And so I think that's pretty loud. So
I don't know that he walked because he's already compromised for James.
Waiting this long?
But not his vision.
Years when it comes out.
Not his vision.
No, I'm saying
timetable.
No, the timetable as well as how they're progressing it as well. This is not like, I mean, they give him full autonomy of creating his whatever, but I do think that they're working in tandem for a reason. I'm not sure why.
Well, because they work for the same company, and they have to work in tandem in order to stagger these things. But here's the thing, though. This is the problem here is with the Batman. There's, even if it's an elongated plan and it's taking forever, it's still a plan. What Warner Brothers DCU is doing is reactionary. So right now, if you're Warner Brothers and you're DCU and you're thinking about merging this universe with the Reeveverse, first of all, you should be relieved of your position. Two, why are you doing things that are reactionary? Every time that this company does anything, it's in reaction to something, not as a coordinated plan, it's a reaction to a result. And that's a problem. It's been a problem even with their predecessors, but their predecessors were a joke. But you had time coming into this to see what you didn't want to do and to see what you didn't want to mess up and to see what kind of precedent you didn't want to set. And they're doing a lot of the same dumb shit, and it's reactionary. There's no plan. It's just, this didn't work. Let's throw another pencil up on the ceiling and see if it doesn't take our eye out. And that's very harrowing. You know what I mean? It's just like, what kind of ground are we?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like, I mean, talked about this before too. It's like when even when they announced, hey, the DCU is going to be a thing, and this is what we have planned, even though there's 4 movies coming out, and this is in 2023. I mean, that was already step one. It was like, I mean, that was, and I don't even blame James Gunn for that. I think it was just like it was Warner Brothers going, hey, we got to get this going. We got to go. And I think it was Zaslav, because Zaslav just wanted to flip the house and sell it. I mean, the dude's going to be fucking walking away with a ton of money. He's selling fucking stocks. He's
just sold 59 million.
Zaslav is walking away. He's going to be walking away from this thing just like, I'm retiring on a fucking island kind of thing. Like, because the dude and I think bringing on James Gunn, it was like, okay, I'm going to bring on James Gunn, the name of James Gunn, and then we're going to be doing, and then like, he was like, all right, you got to announce, you got to get this going. You got to, and James Gunn was like, fuck. All right. And James Gunn did this. And I like, and I think James Gunn had the ego enough to be like, I can handle this. And yeah, it's starting to now, we're starting to see the seams in the, things are starting to be like, oh wait, maybe certain decisions weren't the right decisions, but Zaslav doesn't give a shit because he's selling stocks and he's about to just take off
right before these lawsuits hit his ass, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Get right
so that's the thing is like Zaslav is like, he's gonna walk out, and then and then we got Gunn right here who thought he could handle this. Now all of a sudden it's like you have a bomb on your hand. The second movie is a bomb. Things have been relatively okay, but now you have a bomb. And now there's much more pressure on Man of Tomorrow, and then of course you have Matt Reeves, who's also at your disposal, who of course has been kind of a thorn because it's like, oh yeah, you're trying to start a new universe, and you have to introduce a Batman in your universe. We don't want to use this Batman, and from what I heard, neither Gunn or Reeves want to combine.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing too.
I've heard that, and they don't want to combine, and they know that people don't want to combine, but pressure from the people above are going, well,
we want money, whatever.
Yeah. We're
Which is Batman.
That maybe we should. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, at least from my end, from people who are more in the know, is Gunn and Reeves do not want to combine. They want separate. But there's pressure from, it's always been on the table for Pattinson to come into the DCU.
I think the problem is we look at it from what makes sense. Like, we know for a fact you can have these two things coexist at the same time and make it functional.
Yeah.
The problem is that you have normal moviegoers that are gonna possibly choose who are the best Batman.
Yeah.
Now, what I'll say is that if you have a great story, it's not going to matter. But when you have two different main characters going on at the same exact time, you can't fault people for kind of being like, oh, I prefer this Batman. I prefer the detective noir Batman. This is what I want. And then somebody's like, oh, I want the brawler that can be able to think around any kind of circumstance and at the same exact time be functional with superpowered beings. So it's people are gonna look at it like what's their favorite, but they need to just go ahead and commit, because if they don't commit soon, people will start to gravitate one way or another. And I think because it's being so long and it's drawing out, people just don't know. And I don't know what they're gonna do. I've heard different things as well, but I think that they may keep that still on the table because it'll just be easier for perception. But if they do that, it doesn't need to be the same exact version of Matt Reeves' Batman. If they keep Pattinson, it can't be the same exact.
It wouldn't be.
It needs to be
That'd
something
be even more
completely
confusing.
different. It need to be something completely different.
But I had this thought actually today too, where I was like, say Man of Tomorrow comes out and it doesn't do well, and then all of a sudden it's just like, then I'm like going, but then they're like, they still have high hopes for the Batman. And then I just kind of go like, well, what if they decided to be like, well, that still might work. And if it does work, what if we just decide to take Matt Reeves' universe, and that's going to be, and then we start trying to inject like, hey, maybe we can have a version of Superman go into his world, or a Wonder Woman, or whatever. I was like, what if they decided to do that? I don't know if that would actually work.
Expand his universe, but not overlap.
Yeah.
I think there's a market for both. I don't think they have to commit, because I think, okay, so if I'm a fan and I choose one version, there's still going to be people who choose the other. There's still going to be a middle when it's Batman. One of the things that I think gets overlooked is when you're talking about people who are the executive producers and directors, when they sign on, there are certain things that they probably put into their contract that prevent things from happening in order to, when they sign that contract. And I'm not Matt Reeves' lawyer or anything like that, but I'm almost certain a guy that's been at the game as long as he is and is an executive producer on his projects has, and both him and Gunn, especially Gunn as a studio head, is going to have they're going to have things in their contract to where certain things start to happen, then they are absolved. They can walk. They can go their own direction. If DC wants to do it on their own without them, then that they can all the luck in the world. But I don't know. Wow, somebody's typing hell. I don't know if if they can just say, you know what, we want to merge these universes, because most of the times when you look at these contracts, there are certain things that they negotiate into these things, to where it's like, while I'm sitting in this director's chair, you will not merge my this with that. I know it's your IP, but as it pertains to me and my employment with you, these are my conditions, and I'm pretty sure that those would be negotiated into anything. So I don't think we will ever see the merger of that universe unless one of those guys would cave, and neither one of them need to.
I hope not.
Well, that's the thing. It's Batman. Yeah. It's Batman. It's like you can have. I mean, I know, like you know, when you're talking about the top dogs, and when it comes to characters, it's Spider-Man and Batman, and there are like, I mean, yeah, you have Spider-Man. I mean, we have the Sony verse, and then of course, obviously, I'm talking about the animated, the Spider-Verse, and that is all working very well. And then you have the stuff that's working with Marvel Studios, which is still partly Sony. But I mean, I know it's like animation and live action. It's like, but at the same time, I mean, no matter what, I mean, you have Spider Noir. That was
phenomenal.
That was good. And then of course, even with Batman is on Amazon, you have, Cape Crusader, which is so great, and I know there's going to be more display, shown at Comic-Con, which is great. And but so like those are always going to sell, and but it's like, but there's never been a time where it's like you have a Batman. You created a Batman during a time where nobody knew what was going on when it came to the DCEU and DC films, but the Batman worked. I mean, I still remember when DC Fandom came out. I mean, it was the first DC Fandom.
Yep. And
everybody was excited because Snyder Cut was going to be coming out. We got the Snyder Cut, like Hallelujah trailer, and it was like, oh my God. But then all of a sudden, we get this the Batman teaser where everybody went, holy shit.
We live streamed that. Me and Sam were together. We were
to
like,
the point,
first live streams.
To the point, even to that night, we did a live stream on Real Anarchy where Zach showed up, and Zach even said, oh, you guys saw the teaser for the Batman. I even texted Matt Reeves going, dude, like he was impressed, like, holy shit. It was like, he even was like raving about that teaser, but it was like, but again, that was in 2020, 2021,
2021.
Yeah.
2021. Yeah. It was, we're in 2026.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to think, like, we got that camera test. I still remember where I was when that first camera test came out
with the music.
Where I was literally coming home from a long shift where I was in the back of a truck because I was doing fielding for my job. And I looked at my phone and I went, oh, fuck. Like I went like, oh my God. Fast forward to now where I'm working from home and not even going out in the field anymore. And now we get, obviously the new camera test, we get everything. We get Pattinson. The ears are longer, by the way. He confirmed that the ears on the cowl are longer, and we get the ambiance of the snow, and we get the freaking beautiful score from Giacchino. So it's like,
I really hope I bump into him at Comic-Con and be like, hey man, I'm not pressuring you to come up, and like just be like, I'm gonna be there right there to order your music, man. Because, and can I say that, like, also this is also on Warner Brothers, because this, like, here's the thing, we were talking about how they won't let, they might want to merge them in, but hopefully the creators don't want to do that. It's like, it's Batman. You have Cape Crusader coming out in a week that is barely getting marketing, so shame on them for not having, like, or even Amazon to, like, not market as much. You have this movie coming out in 2 years. Absolute Batman was announced about a week ago, a few days ago. That's
drove up all the prices of all my books.
Yeah, and like, I think so. Like, Batman is going to be taken care of, but also this goes to show of like how, and going back to, because we talked about the Odyssey earlier on, this is the same studio that let go of Nolan right before he won his Oscars and he made his money. And
dude, Warner Brothers fucked up so bad.
Imagine if they
but he cost
again.
him $52 million too. They weren't too happy about that.
True, with Tenet was not a success,
and they went on to make Barbie, and that's why he drew money with Oppenheimer. So
this is what I want to say, and be careful how I say it, because I can't really say anything negative one way or another. I'm gonna be neutral about this.
Okay.
When you have, let's look at Marvel and let's get DC, right? So Marvel's got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, effectively, on Disney Plus. That's a completely different version that we've ever seen, more harping to the comics, that is working and functional. You already brought up Dave, Sony, and what they're doing with Spider-Verse, and it's technically still separate, even though they want them connected.
Yeah,
keeping it separate, and it's
technically
still
arch-connected. Yeah,
right, but it's still functional. It's functioning on its own, and like Ron just brought up, Cape Crusader, My Adventures of Superman, both of these are very functional. The problem is DC, I think, whether it's got to do with the merger or whether it's got to do with James not having the ability of just fully committing, they have to go with the idea of using the case study of these animated features having their own world and their own else world, and just committing if you're going to go that route. And I don't think that they've fully committed. That's why they keep going back and forth. If they just fully commit or go to a different route, like go and say, all right, we're going to do a 3-part Kingdom Come, and we're just going to tell that story.
Constantine.
Because if they commit in the way that they know for a fact that they can work in these animated features, they're going to be fine. They just need to go ahead and commit. The problem is money's tied up somewhere. And I don't know, you brought up the contract side, William. I don't really.
Brain cells are tied up too.
I think it's different now because there's a lot more leeway for them to go fully functional. Even the idea of the fact that James was like, oh, there's going to be animation, it's going to be comics, it's going to be games, it's going to be live action, the same exact act. That's crazy concept. That's insane. But I think the problem is there's guardrails somewhere and they can't fully commit because it's possible. If they can do it, the animation, but we've been talking about that for years.
Yeah.
For years, there's been great animated feature films and series that have just not been told. Like, not even got to be one-to-one, but just committing fully.
Yeah.
And I think that's what needs to happen.
Batman is literally doing the Nightfall saga right now in the animated form, and everyone's just like, we're gonna
hates.
Well, I'm just saying, but you don't need to see any previous Batman film for that. We're just going right into Nightfall, and people are just gonna
Dark Knight Rises
check it out.
Kind of there, but
DC
go ahead, William.
has failed to be DC. This is a systematic. This is stupidity from 1986 up till now on every fucking format they exist on. They created the multiverse. They created the alternate concept, the parallel universe, the coexisting universe. They created that. And they've let themselves be outduped by Marvel. And here's the problem. They think that their fans are too fucking stupid, that we need scratch and sniff to figure out that if you have a Batman here that's being told in a different narrative, and that you have a Batman here that's being told in another narrative, that we're going to get confused. Do you think that your fans are a bunch of fucking morons?
Yeah.
The only way that could ever be the truth.
I love that you say that.
Yeah. The only way that could ever be true is if two things, or one or two things, would be true, or both, and they're usually not. Either your storyteller is a fucking moron because it's their job to make it that you know the difference between one or the other. They're distinguished. Or your fans are a bunch of morons. Neither one is the case. You have talented writers and you have smart people. They can read. They can literally read and get this stuff. They've never wanted to do that. Oh, and I've heard fans buy into this bullshit. Oh, we can't have this because it'll confuse fans. If you're a fucking moron, yes, it will confuse you.
Yeah,
people
say
confusion.
It's not that complicated.
Go ahead.
Embrace being DC. The whole strength of DC is the fact that they can go in many different directions and please a lot of different people. The reason why Absolute Batman is doing well, and it's augmented Batman cells.
Yeah, it's
augmented
it's a totally different thing. It's a totally different thing.
But I don't have to get a coloring book, an Absolute coloring book out and say, here, boys and girls.
You don't have to pull out a whiteboard or
I don't want to confuse you here.
And explain the timelines.
You stagger them.
Exactly.
You stagger your Batman movie so that you're not spending your ad revenue, absorbing one. You stagger them. But you should have Elseworlds. Elseworlds should be a brand that we know like the fucking Golden Arches.
Yeah.
And we don't.
It definitely should be that. And I wanted to bring up our skeptics. Thank you for the $10 super chat. He said, we haven't heard anything about Constantine 2 and any of JJ's DC projects. Reeves' Arkham GCPD show was canceled and no word on Penguin season 2. Looks like live action Elseworlds is. I know that's the thing. It's like I don't know if it's like. It was like it sounded like it was like, all right, DC Studios and James Gunn was like, we're embracing like Elseworlds. We even have a logo. They're like, we have a logo for that, and like, all right, well, you better start embracing that a little bit more because I think that should be the strong side. It's like, yeah, do what you're doing, but you also should be, let's
for planning.
Make sure that the Elseworlds stuff is helping.
Those 4 movies, the roadkill movies that they left on the side of the road for dead and cost themselves $1 billion because they put those movies out under shitty circumstances. If I'm James Gunn and I'm coming into this situation, I know what I'm going to do, but I know what's already there. Use those pieces. You've already spent the money. You're already going to blow almost $1 billion in ad budget. Why don't you re-engineer those things to make them work for you instead of just leaving those movies out on the side of the road and then, oh, wow, why did they fail? Nobody fucking cared after you pulled the plug on it. You could have literally used those as a ramp up to what you were doing in somehow, some way via Elseworlds. But you didn't want to do that, so I don't know. Now,
I'm going to ask I'm sorry, go ahead, Paul.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I might deter the conversation a little bit, but I'll let you go first, Sam.
I was going to ask if you guys think about like a corporation, right? Like say you're working for a company and you're the contract company that kind of comes in to help out with whatever. And then there's a new contract company that's coming in. As it gets closer and closer to the transition, right? You can't get more people. Like if people start quitting, you can't bring more stuff in. No more money is flowing. Everything is going to be like, okay, get people their severance so they can get out and it's going to be transition to something in. I'm saying that to say I don't know if that's the situation now because of all the legal stuff that's going on with him being sued and all this and that. But I gotta figure that the new people that are going to be moving in are going to actually be starting to ask questions from an acquisition standpoint. There has to be like eventually there's going to be things that have to be cut off. And I'm wondering if that's what DC is. They may already have in their mind that they're going to get rid of James. I don't know that James had the same exact power that he had up until everything happened. Because I started to notice when they were competing between Netflix and Paramount, things started to slow down. Like not even just with like the marketing side, even James's communication out, like the way he was on the socials, things just completely changed. So I'm saying that to say, is that even possible? I don't know. I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
You bring up a good point. You bring up a good point because like we haven't heard anything that's like supposed to be coming. What's coming after Man of Tomorrow?
Yeah, that's
there's no contract, and then there's you're not going to get anything announced because if James Gunn decides, you know what, I don't need this, then his contract. All he has to do is let his contract. He's contractually obligated to advertise this stuff, just so you'll see him on the press tour. But if he doesn't extend, he can go somewhere else. He can go right back to Disney. He can go right back to Disney. He can go right back to Marvel Studios.
Yep.
And as far as what comes after that, now you have to start talking about the merger and Ellersons, and then vomiting in your own mouth because of what they're doing and what's about to happen with them. Even if that merger goes through, there's so many delays, and they've attached the delays to penalties to their stockholders. $7 million a day, dude. I mean, that's insane because they thought this was going to get pushed through, but they didn't realize that the antitrust and the things that are happening in each state and all these other things. And now Europe is about to go on break before they even convene on what they're going to do. So even if this goes through, it's like, you started off the marathon and you had all your weight on you and you were hydrated. Now you're headed to the finish line. You're skin and bones. You may die at the finish line and get eaten by vultures the way this is going.
And it's also a big problem because Paramount, as far as I know, was in debt, and Warner Brothers was also in major debt. So now their debt is now combined and
with interest.
Yes. So it's also terrible. I mean, we discussed this multiple times on the stream because outside of our own biases or who we prefer with certain things running DC, Warner Brothers as a company has been sold and resold like 5 fucking times between 2017 and now. Like, it's insane. And every time they get the ball rolling on something, it switches over to a whole new group of owners, and the whole process starts all over again. Whether I love or dislike the DCU or James Gunn or any of that shit, almost is inconsequential because it's like Sammy was pointing out, it's hard to even get a plot going when all these other things are happening. Now, that being said, my question that I was going to ask before I let Sam go goes right back to the beginning and pretty much is almost kind of answered. Like, at the same time, I still think James and company should have started out the universe. I mean, again, maybe you're copying Zach's formula to a degree, but like, you got to ask, where's the new Wonder Woman movie? Where is Batman Brave and the Bold? Because Brave and the Bold was talked about as early as the Flash bombing, which was quite a while ago.
It was right at the beginning. Yeah. No,
right, because Andy was, still had that project. I think he still does. I don't even know. My question was that, like, we're talking about Batman, but I'm questioning like whether or not the Pattinson Batman gets merged, which I don't think will fucking happen. But point being is, where is Brave and the Bold? Because I don't love the take, but I get doing something different from Matt Reeves with older Batman, Damian, in place and all of that.
It would be something different, especially for the general audience. Would be like, what? Batman has a kid? You could totally sell it.
But I'm asking you guys, because I'm not in the know on this stuff. I'm not paying attention to the DCU. So, what's the last thing we even know about that project?
So
right?
They're casting.
Be careful how I say this.
Okay.
When they were doing it, Welcome to Deary, I had an opportunity of talking to Andy for a second.
Nice.
We got to interview him and Barbara. I haven't released that yet because I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it. I did, in my own way, ask a very interesting question about the writing for Brave and Bold. But what I can say he kind of said is like, I'm very much so still attached, but I cannot answer your question in the way that you want me to answer it. And I'm not going to tell you guys what the question was. But I think that they're still working the logistics of that out. The problem is I don't know how they're going to move anything forward, to be quite transparent, because even when we were at CinemaCon, Michael B. Jordan, who was talking about, what was the movie that old girl's in, that Michael B. Jordan is?
Thomas Crown Affair?
Yes. She was on the screen. They were on the stage together. And he kind of blurted out, like, she's going to be big with DC, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, what is he talking about? Why do you know? Like, Michael, why do you even know?
Big with DC, not with Maxima. Sorry.
Right. So what I'm thinking is that there are things that are happening, but I don't think they can pull the trigger on it. And that's why I asked y'all in the chat, would they have been better off with Netflix? Because truth be told, I think Netflix has been like, do whatever you got to do. Do your thing. Here's the money. And they had it. It was all said and done.
And then Paramount, and this
they got greedy.
As a DC fan, this is what always happens when something actually lines up to actually be beneficial for everybody, especially being a DC fan. Then something else comes out of the fucking woodwork, and So like when Paramount came to be whiny little bitches about everything, I was like, great, here we go. Like, and that's it.
I know it's ridiculous.
So
it's ridiculous. But I wanted to pull up this. Thank you, Ghoul, for the $5 super chat. Avengers Doomsday showtimes are up on Fandango, but not on sale yet. And yes, Infinity Vision and the 12/17/26 date will still happen. Yeah, that was kind of, well, I don't know what's going to happen next week, right? Next week's supposed to be the official tickets.
On the 20th is the rumor. Yeah.
Yeah, see,
20th,
that's why it's
before
beneficial.
Comic-Con, which is weird.
I just love that Infinity Vision is like a thing where it's like, oh yeah, we don't have IMAX because Dune took those up, but hey, we got Infinity Vision. It's just as good. It's like
like Infinity War, but it's also with the Vision. It's
you remember Infinity? Remember we used that all throughout our Infinity Saga.
Dolby Atmos screens are gonna be blowing up that weekend for Avengers stuff.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to be seeing Dune 3 and Doomsday in the same day. It's going to be a Barbenheimer for sure. That will be an official Barbenheimer event.
Doomsday, for sure. So.
But
let's go. But I know, like Sam, you've been here longer than you actually were, and I appreciate you, man, dude. Every time you come on here, man, you're giving some good information. You're giving some good, opinions on things, dude. And I want you to come back on more. So for sure. But always great talking to you, Sam.
Yeah, if these kids don't hold me down, bro.
Yeah, I know
I'll be there. these kids will wear you out, bro. But I missed you guys, and definitely I appreciate you guys for letting me join in. And nice to meet you, Paul and William.
Same.
Y'all have a good night.
All right, man.
Take care, Sam.
Take care, everybody.
Take it easy.
Take care, Sam.
Yeah, and, love Sam. It was great to meet him. I actually met him in person at the Rebel Moon premiere, which was cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's where he was. Yeah.
So
first time I started streaming with Sam was for DC Fandom. One of the first few times.
Yeah, and I remember, like I said, I was not kidding. Like the first time I had him on the Vodka stream. I mean, like I said, like when I would have when I do the guest thing, I was like, all right, have the guest on, talk to the guest for a bit, and then bring on the panel. For some reason, I couldn't get anybody to show up on the panel. So Sam and I talked for 3+ hours for the entire show. You can go back and watch that stream. We just talked about just movies. He's just so easy to talk to. I just, So when I saw him in the chat, I was like, dude, you want to show up? And then he was like, I can only come on for 15 minutes. And I was like, well, do you want to come on another time? And he's all, just send the link. I was like, all right. And of course, he was on for like a half an hour or so. But
we were planning stuff for Comic-Con because I'm helping cover stuff, and I was and then we went down the road of talking about stuff that we've been hearing. And
Sam's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, he's
a good dude to talk to. I always love him when he's on. But but anyways, going back to what we're talking about, DC, fucking Marvel Studios. Of course we're gonna see. It's so funny because when it comes to that release date of December 17th, right? Yeah,
I believe
something like that. Whatever it is.
December 17th is both.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, it's like I want it's almost like I want to get Doomsday out of the way, and then I'm like I want to enjoy. I'm like getting to that point where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to enjoy Doomsday. That's going to be fun. Hey, we're gonna have a good time. It's going to be the amusement park thing, and it's like, I'm like, but when it comes to Dune, I'm like, all right. This is the movie. This could be the best movie of the year because I've just enjoyed the first two so much. It's just definitive sci-fi. Denis Villeneuve. He's up there. He's just up there with Nolan.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's the movie where I want to sit and just be like, let's conclude this saga that you fucking have done that I've just thoroughly enjoyed. Even the Dune series I enjoyed. I thought that was a nice little spin-off chapter on HBO Max, so and of course I want more, but I'm just like, when it comes to I'm looking forward to Doomsday, even though when I saw that when I saw the concept art, I'm like, Steve Rogers is just like he's looking like a character out of a 1990s fucking, series where he rides a motorcycle. He's just wearing black t-shirt, black jeans with a beard and long hair, and he's just gonna fight along. I'm like, that's an interesting take. You guys saw that, right? You guys saw
yeah. You showed it last stream. I think we were showing it from the Shanghai.
Yeah, that's
stuff.
right.
Yeah,
because it debuted because they were at that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So look, my thought is this. I 100% agree with you, Dave, as far as like the anticipation for both films.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we're talking about a real cinematic experience, obviously I'm going to go with Dune Part 3. The only thing is I may be anticipating Doomsday a little bit more, only because I've read Dune Messiah, so I kind of know for the most part how that story is going to unfold. Yeah. Doomsday could go any which way. Like I've read both Secret Wars, I've read Fantastic Four, I've read Avengers comics. I have no idea what they're actually going to really do, to be honest. Like they could do anything.
And that's the fun about that. That's the fun about that is the fact that we don't know like who we're going to see fighting each other, who we're going to see teaming up. And that, and that's the thing about Doomsday is like, yeah, I'm anticipating that, but it's just, I just know that the quality is not going to be.
It's not going to be Dune Part 3. It's not going to be that. I agree.
Why I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna have fun with this, but I already know I'm probably gonna be like, oh, that's a lot. Oh, there might be moments where I'm like, but I hope I walk out of Doomsday just kind of going like, dude, that was fucking great, sure, But I just like when I saw that the full trailer for Dune, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is just. I'm like, how? I'm just looking at some of these shots in the trailer going, how do you do that? I even said that. I mean, even with the first Dune, I was like, Jesus Christ. But then the second Dune, when Paul, takes a ride on the fucking worm for the first time, that whole sequence, I'm going,
yeah.
How do you shoot that? I saw it twice I've seen it more times than that, but every time I just go like, how do you shoot this? It's one of the best sequences of the entire franchise is him doing that. And I'm like, how do you even fucking shoot this?
He's taking high concept fantasy, but he's shooting it like Lawrence of Arabia because obviously Lawrence of Arabia is a huge influence on him, but he's also been a Dune fan since he was a teenager when he read the book. So it's like, it's a mix of his loves kind of merging basically. My only complaint about Dune Part 2 is, I love the Dune book, and that more so, and I think I said it when we talked about it on the stream like a year or so ago. I said that I think Denny, I don't think he's gonna have much trouble with Dune Messiah because that's pretty straightforward, but it's really weird in the third act in the book. And I think he was a little afraid to kind of go super weird with it, whereas Lynch doesn't give a shit. Lynch actually got closer to that book ending than he did.
Yeah,
with how those things. With how things transpire. That being said, I think Doom Messiah will still be very cinematic. I think it'll be very good. I love that Duncan Idaho is here, or his character within the. I don't want to go too much into it because I know people haven't read Doom Messiah, but there's a cool thing that's happening there. The stuff with our Pattinson looks awesome. I'm invested in this, and I think it's gonna be interesting to see how he chooses to unfold this story and whatnot. What's going to be more interesting for Dune, I think, though, is that clearly Warner Brothers, because I know how they think, they're going to want to continue. And, Children of Dune and so on and so forth, Emperor Dune, those books get really weird. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not finished Children of Dune yet, but they bring it up a level. And I think Denny is only concentrated or cares about Paul's story.
Oh yeah, he's done after this.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
I'm glad for because I'm like, all right, Denny, I want to see you do something because Arrival, so fucking good. I love that movie. I mean, I love an alien it's not even an alien invasion movie, but aliens showing up. And I thought that movie was just so that's probably my favorite movie of his besides like the Dune movies. Like it's like, because that movie was just so like, it felt like a Nolan movie because
it did
the way the story is told, it's not linear. but the whole concept of how the aliens interact with humans is not linear, where time is not linear. And I was like, God, fuck, you got me. I mean, that's that. I mean, I would say that, yeah, that's up there with like one of my all-time favorite movies. Is Arrival. Is just so fucking good. Where when it starts unfolding, you go, oh shit. Yeah, wait, the daughter, oh, is there, oh my God, she got told, oh, what the fuck? It's like, it's crazy. And the whole aspect of the creatures communicating and them translating and stuff like that. I mean, the dude knows how to, I mean, even like, and then he makes something like Sicario, and you go, what the fuck? Like,
My favorite movie.
Yeah, that movie is also
very good.
That and Blade Runner 2049.
Blade Runner too, yeah.
Yeah, I would say Arrival and 2049 back to back pretty much. I think that's what cemented his career, because he was already being talked about with Prisoners and a few other. I recommend if you guys get a chance, watch Enemy, because that's also a pretty good
Enemy is also great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a little issue with it because there's a big spider and I'm arachnophobic. So, but yeah, so I have a little like, oh, I have to turn my head a little bit, but still a good movie.
There's a really funny bit of trivia in that the girl that plays his like wife girlfriend in the movie, the one who's like living with him, you know, because it's a double movie, and I kept looking at her and I was like, she looks so familiar. What do I know her from? Like, what have I seen her in? I know she's been other things. And funny enough, she's in a Disney Channel original movie called The Other Me, where Andy Lawrence makes a clone of himself. And I was like, you gotta be shitting. Yeah, that was like the first movie I ever saw her when I was a kid. And I was like, that's her. So like, and I had like a little crush on her and stuff. So I was like, that's her. So I thought that was really funny.
That's
funny. But yeah, she obviously but also in that same movie, The Other Me, Andy Lawrence's older sister is played by Allison Pill, who is, you know, Kim Pine in Scott Pilgrim and all those other things. She's in a bunch of other movies too. So yeah, that movie was like a starting vehicle for some big stars. Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
No, that's cool. I like it. When people make the connections like that. It's pretty sweet. But I know. Like, Denny's like he's up there with one of the greats, because I don't think he's made a bad movie either. And he's had range. I mean, I remember when I showed my my ex-girlfriend Prisoners, I was like, because I remember we've seen the Dune movies, both of them, and I was like, she was a Jake Gyllenhaal fan, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna show you this movie. It's pretty intense. Well, we're gonna watch, and she was floored by it, and I was like, yeah, it was like. And it's funny too, because technically it's a Thanksgiving movie. There's not many Thanksgiving movies, but if you want to think about it, it is a Thanksgiving movie because it takes place during that time. You know,
it's hard to think that there's an Eli Roth movie called Thanksgiving, which is like,
I love that.
really...
I enjoy that. You know what? And he's got. It was so funny too, because when we were walking up to the movie theater, and they had like just like three of the posters that were horror movies, and one of them was The Ice Cream Man, which is Eli Roth's new movie. And I was like, and they were, and like my dad was like, what's The Ice Cream Man? I'm like, I dare you to watch that trailer. You might gag, because I don't know if you guys watch.
I haven't. I mean, I know who Eli Roth is. I've seen some of his stuff.
Heard of it,
dude. If you watch that trailer, the red band trailer, Eli Roth is not holding back. I mean, in the trailer, I'm going, Jesus Christ, what is left for the movie? Like, I was watching it going, geez, I was like, good God. I'm like, the fuck, man. I mean, it's Eli Roth. I mean, the dude knows how to make you go, ah. I mean, I still remember in the first Hostel movie when one of the characters got his Achilles tendon like sliced, and I remember the entire theater went like it was just like one of those like, good God, like you just saw that and like the guy stood up and it like went and it was like, ah, yeah.
I remember being in high school and like I wasn't watching like R-rated horror at that point. I was like wasn't really my thing. So remember people talking about it, but even people who were into like, you know, like old school, like, you know, like gory 80s stuff are just like, yeah, it's kind of torture porn. And I was like,
It
yeah,
is
I'm good.
torture
I got,
porn. It definitely is torture
yeah,
porn. I'm not.
yeah.
That's not my favorite genre of horror. Where I'm like, I'll watch it once, but I'm like, I never really revisited the. He did
The
Cabin Fever, right?
Yeah, Cabin
Yeah,
Fever is his.
yeah,
That one's very cringe, but some of
yeah,
it's also like on purpose. There's a
yeah.
whole hilarious sequence where like a guy a guy has like a harmonica and he gets hit in the face with a guitar and the harmonica somehow goes down and is like in his throat. So it's clearly like camp, like it kind of
Yeah,
it doesn't you don't think it's kind of like a Final Destination almost. You don't think it's very campy at first, and then the
yeah.
further on the movie goes, you're like, oh, this is a camp
That's
thing.
very campy.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
yeah.
like a highly autistic child going like pancakes and like doing some karate moves. I'm like, I don't know what this is like right
Yeah.
now.
I
But
mean, I mean, I really enjoy the Evil Dead movies. I
yeah.
watched Evil Dead Burn last week,
Mhm.
and I enjoyed it. And then I did a binge of all the Evil Dead movies, and obviously, the Sam Raimi ones had their certain, it's Sam Raimi, which I love. And then of course, when you get to now these movies like the remake, and then Rise, and then Burn, it's like the campiness is not fully there. It's now just, oh yeah, we're still keeping the essence of Evil Dead, but it's just, hey, we're showing you some fucked up shit, which I enjoy and I like that, but I almost do want it to get back to the Sam Raimi campy type.
Right. I'm glad that Raimi's at least on board with it.
He's
and
involved.
People,
he likes it.
Yeah.
And what's funny, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I was like, each filmmaker, because there's been 3 filmmakers with the remake. It was Fede Alvarez who did like Alien Romulus and stuff, and and then you had Lee Cronin who did the Mummy movie too, like he did Evil Dead Rise, and then you had Sebastian, whatever the hell his name is. They all like paid homage to the fact that Sam Raimi knows how to move his camera in crazy weird ways. They all had their own, like, even when I did the rewatch, I'm like, oh yeah, man. I mean, every filmmaker has like been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do my own style of like what Sam Raimi probably would be like, oh fuck, how did you do that? Because Sam Raimi has always been good with like, hey, I'm gonna move the camera in certain ways. Even from that first Evil Dead movie, he was like, yeah, can we get let's make the camera do this. And we're going to do this shot where the camera just like drags over right here. And then it goes upside down. And then we're going to do like a fast zoom in shot or something like that. His signature is always the zoom in, where you see that, zoom in on the eyeball or something like that, or zoom in on the face real quick or something. And like all these filmmakers have done a good job of paying homage to that. And that's what I like about that. I mean, yeah, they've taken the lore more seriously. Maybe it'll get back to the more campy stuff, but at the same time, they're just like, well, this is just the Evil Dead lore of like what's happening here. You don't have the character like Bruce Campbell's Ash. If you had that, then that's where it gets campy. And
I think I said it on the last stream because we were talking about Evil Dead then too. For me, Evil Dead is Ash Williams, but again, I'm not a gatekeeper. I let people like what they like, but as it is, like, for me personally, as far as even those films go, the perfect Evil Dead is Evil Dead 2, because even Army of Darkness, which I love, Army of Darkness is Army of Darkness. It's kind of it's kind of almost its own thing. It's medieval Dead is what it's.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be called. Did you read that, right? Where he wanted to call it Medieval Dead, which is a perfect fucking title for it. But the studio was like, the studio was like, well, Evil Dead 2 bombed, so we don't want any association with the Evil Dead name. So he was like, all right, well, Army of Darkness, and and that's part of the reason why it got so campy, where it was like, okay, we're now very far away from the original Evil Dead, which I love. That is like one of my all-time favorite horror movies, because you watch that first Evil Dead, he was taking it seriously. Yeah, it's campy, but it's not that campy. When you watch Evil Dead 2, that's where the campiness really starts to set in. And then Army of Darkness, it's full on one-liners, which I enjoy.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, Army is pretty much the de facto. When people picture what Ash is like in their head, they're going pretty much with the Army of Darkness version, and that carries on to Ash versus Evil Dead, but then harkens back to darker stuff. But I mean, there was like a possessed puppet like of Ash talking to himself. So I mean, there's just a whole bunch of things with that. But no, I was going to bring up earlier because I know you're a huge fan of The Mask, and
and Sebastian, what's his name?
Yeah, he wants. We talked about this multiple times. I feel over the earlier streams was that the original comic is way darker and more fucked up.
Big head,
and to actually do that iteration of the comic as opposed to the Jim Carrey, because you're not. At this point, I don't think you're going to get Jim Carrey to come back, doing that role. I mean, he's, they don't have to twist his arm to do Robotnik, but he likes being in those movies, clearly. But even for me personally as a fan, the perfect time to make The Mask 2 would have been like 15 years ago. Like even if Cameron Diaz and Stanley Ipkiss had kids, those kids would be like in college, or they would be
fucked up on that franchise because I mean, I remember it's in my head because I loved the original Mask movie so much. I remember watching like Entertainment Tonight, and they were doing like a whole expose on the dog that played Milo, the dog that was Milo.
Great
and they were like talking with the family and stuff like that, and they're like, and don't worry, Milo is signed on for The Mask 2. And I went, oh my God. And it never fucking happened. And then in the early 2000s, they decided to do Son of the Mask with Jamie Kennedy. And it's the worst fucking thing ever.
It's considered by many people to be one of the worst sequels ever made.
Oh my God.
There's so many weird decisions in it. I think basically at that time, Jim Carrey was just at the top of. He didn't need to do The Mask 2, and
he never wanted to do sequels. He always said like he never. But then he ended up doing Ace Ventura because he got paid Sonic a fucking ton of money, and then later on ended up doing a Dumb and Dumber. It's like, but he was always like against doing sequels, but. Yeah, but of course, like I think they just threw a ton of money at him to do Nature's Call. But but it's like they missed an opportunity. But at the same time, it was so funny because, like I've said so many time and time again, where it's like, I loved the movie The Mask, and I was like, oh, that's just I just loved it. I saw it 4 times in the movie theater, and then of course when it came out on video, I remember that summer I wore out that fucking VHS because I just loved the movie. And then my mom comes home and goes, hey, I got you a comic book of The Mask. And it was like The Mask Strikes Back. And it was like literally him on like a motorcycle. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I was like, wait, this is not like,
this is
different. This is a little different. This is, and I'm like, and then I was like, huh, interesting. And then we go to Universal Studios. And we go, Universal City Walk. You've been there.
Yeah.
And there was like, like one of the places, and they had a bunch of comic books, and they had the original graphic novel for the first Mask. And I grab it. I'm like, Mom, it's a Mask. Can you get it for me? She goes, yeah. Having no idea
what it is.
How graphic. How graphic it is. I mean, I open this thing up and I'm like going, holy shit. I mean, she had no idea. And she knows now. She was like, I had no idea. Yeah, of course she did. She thought it was like the fucking movie because they dumb it in. But it's funny because when you read that initial Mask, there are things in there like when he pops up and there's gangsters and or that biker gang or whatever the hell, and he starts doing the balloon animals. That is in the comic book, but then when he makes the Tommy gun, he literally blows them away. When it comes to the mechanics that fuck him over, Stanley Ipkiss, he kills them. Like in the movie, it's like he
shoves mufflers up their ass regardless in that movie, and that you only get later when you're not a kid watching it.
Yeah.
But in the
book.
comic, he literally makes them like he goes
There is
all the way up.
One of the guys has a muffler shoved down his throat. He's dead. And one of the other guys is on a cherry picker with a bunch of fucking tools in his head, and he's just hanging there dead. Like like he fucking kills. Like, and then of course, I mean, you know, spoiler, in the book, Stanley Ipkiss does not live. Like, his girlfriend ends up killing him, taking the mask, and then gives it to Lieutenant Kellaway, who ends up using the mask for his own benefit. And it's like, that's the thing about the comic book of The Mask, is like, Big Head is always pretty much the same throughout. Like, whoever puts on the mask turns into Big Head. And it's always like the Big Head killer or the Big Head, whatever the hell.
Well, the mask is like possessive, and I mean, it's more of like a. I mean, it would have been interesting if the mask changed a little bit with each person, which is what I liked about the movie so much. And it's kind of like the Secret Soldier serum. It's like whatever's something about you, it gets amplified.
Basically. Which that was a cool little concept that they brought up in the movie, which I think they could still. You know,
like
for the most part, when it came to the comic book, it was always just everybody just kind of turns into Big Head or whatever the hell. But I don't know. I don't know if he wants to do it. I'm like, but at the same time, I even thought might be hard to sell that. You know,
if you bring it up as a reboot, a straight reboot, you don't advertise Jim Carrey. You make it a point that this is like a gritty remake, but you make it true to like, this is true to the original comic and stuff like that, and you play it off that way. And also, they don't need to. I mean, they don't need to, but they could. They could bring back Stanley Ipkiss, but they do the Stanley Ipkiss from the books, where he's just a complete, you know, sociopath essentially, who's amplified through Big Head. But still keep certain things, like maybe someone like the mask's outer appearance changes on whoever wears it, that sort of thing, or it amplifies different aspects. But every time the mask is put on, it is like what Loki would want, which is complete chaos, basically. You know, mischief, because that's the whole point.
I've been screaming about this since when Deadpool, the
first
Deadpool movie 10 years ago, which is crazy to think about, came out and blew up. I was like, I made a video. I was like, now it's time to reboot The Mask, because The Mask is complete chaos, and he breaks the fourth wall in his books. Like, not as much as Deadpool, but he does break the fourth wall in the book. He will turn to the audience and say something, but you know, not as much as Deadpool. But I'm like, you got it right here, guys. Somebody needs to just fucking you know, The Mask, people know The Mask, do it properly. And when I heard Sebastian, what's his name, who did Evil Dead Burns, said, oh yeah, I would make it more like the book. I'm like, come on, do it.
There you go.
Time. It's time. But I think it's time also to end the stream. I know you guys are getting tired. I'm getting tired myself, and we lost William. I don't know what happened to William, but hey, it's all good. We're going on 4 hours when it comes to this stream, so I appreciate the conversations. Great to see Sam again. Thank you, William. Thank you, Phil, of course, and of course, thank you, Ronan. Thank you, Paul. Ronan, go ahead and promote anything you gotta promote. Obviously, you're going to be at Comic-Con, so
I will be at San Diego Comic-Con 2026. You can follow me and subscribe to me at Ronan the Chain on YouTube and all the socials. Right now, I'm covering X-Men 97 Season 2, the new Ghost in the Shell anime. There's another anime called Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. That's based on a manga that I love. And then don't be surprised if you start seeing stuff from Cape Crusader from my end. And then I'm going to try to do my best to put out at least one thing per each day at Comic-Con and try to just promote the hell out of it and see what happens on that. And lanterns.
What do you got, Paul?
Well, I'm not going to San Diego Comic-Con, but as far as I know, I should be going to New York this year. So I'll be doing that. So yeah, I guess you'll see me there. But honestly, I'm still just living, just working. But that's pretty much it. And you can follow me at pmickey1988 on Instagram, or Paul Panhook on Vero, though I don't really go on that one anymore. Probably should just get rid of that at this point.
Yeah, Vero kind of just died.
It just dead.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's all I got. But thanks again for having me on, man. I always appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Always like talking to you. Always like
Same.
talking to all you guys and stuff like that. And it was great to see Sam again, like I said.
Mhm.
Thank you, William. Thank you, Phil. Also, and thank you everybody who's spent some time with us right now. Hit that like, thumbs up, do all the things, and yeah, guys. Obviously, there's a lot of things that we're still kind of up in the air, but go see The Odyssey. Check it out. Enjoy yourself. It's a good movie, and it's Nolan just doing Nolan things where you just kind of go like, what the fuck? How did you, what? Don't, ignore all the BS out there, and I've been called a paid shill like a few times because I like the movie. I like the movie, so I'm a paid shill apparently. Or a woke shill, or a woke see you next Tuesday. I've been called all the things, but who cares? You like what you like. If you like Christopher Nolan, go watch The Odyssey, check it out. And yeah, it's gonna be, Denny, I think that's the only guy that that can live up to him with Dune Part 3. I'm telling you, those two are gonna be clashing when it comes to award season, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, we love you, and we'll talk to you later.